cannot begin to tell y'all just how tired I am right now. But I want to thank you for joining me for another edition of the True Seekers Live podcast. I'm hyped. I have so much coffee in my cup that I can't really even taste. It doesn't even feel like liquid. It's like this concoction. There's so much caffeine in my cup that I probably shouldn't be drinking it right now. But I had so much energy during the majority portion of the day. I ended up going outside for about 15 minutes, and it just completely drained me. It was 100 degrees in Texas, and I'm feeling the effects of a poor choice of going outside, and it's drained my energy. But the show must go on. And as a very wise man once said, if you party like a rock star, you got to show up to the concert. So me deciding to go outside with a beer in my hand ultimately is kicking me in the butt right now. However, the show must go on. I want to thank all 30 people for watching us tonight. It's going to be less people that are in the building tonight. We don't usually stream on Saturday nights, but I'm sure there are other people streaming as well. But we do have Themis and Thoughts in the building right now. Cafe is definitely good. I have to drink. I definitely have to drink. This is going to be probably one of the quicker lives. I say this, and then 4.5 hours later, we'll still be here, right? Yes, you did make it forever, ever. Boss man, good to see you again in the building. Masscast, hello. Soul man, I don't know if I have it in me to sing tonight. We're probably going to have to do that tomorrow night in the hangout stream or part 2 of this stream, depending on the reception of it and whether or not I can cover a lot of the information that I actually have to get covered tonight. We're dual streaming, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody that's contributed to the channel to bring all the quality production that you've been able to help me bring forth to you tonight. I appreciate you joining me. It's going to be a really content-packed, power punch-filled show tonight, and I got to keep it a bit shorter because if I keep it too long, some people won't really watch these on the replay because it's just too intimidating. I guess 3 hours, 4-hour live streams. People don't really like to see that, but this stream is very important because one of the things that my detractors always say is, "Oh, Truth, you're always going so hard on black man. You're not telling us what to do. You're not telling us what to do, yada, yada, yada." And so I'm actually going to provide solutions for you right now and kind of explain why for black males, you're not quite ready for a woman in your life. And this is something that I don't hear the manosphere talking about a lot. I hear the manosphere telling you just how bad women are, telling you that's not your fault, that women, the modern women, are the way that they are right now. But I'm going to kind of open your eyes to explaining to you why that's not necessarily going to help your life. And I'm going to give you some tips that ultimately will help your life a lot. Yemi C says we like long. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Yemi. Greetings, Chavis. Good to see you in the building. Hey, Happy. Good to see you in the building. Stay woke. Oh, yeah. I'm staying woke tonight. I've got enough caffeine in this cup to last me for probably a couple nights, but I have to do it this way. I was laying down 20 minutes ago. I said, I can't make it tonight. I can't make it. But I'll tell you what happened a couple days ago. Actually, yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I was walking to my mailbox and I walked past the dumpster, and outside was an LG TV, no scratches, with the remote right behind it, a 43-inch LG TV sitting right in front of the dumpster. So I looked around and I was like, if it was, I don't know why they didn't just throw it in the dumpster. It was sitting in front of the dumpster, right? LG, right? So I picked it up. I was like, well, I might as well see if it works, right? So I picked it up. I walked over to my laundry room because I didn't want to plug it into my outlet inside of my apartment and then like blow up or catch on fire or be roach infested, right? So I plugged it in the laundry room and it powered right on, brand new. And it said, set your region for the time control or whatever. And I said, Chicago. It said, do you want to connect to Wi-Fi? I said, sure. And it stayed on for like 20 minutes. I just chilled and watched it. It didn't explode. It didn't spontaneously combust. I don't think it's a bomb. I don't know what's going on with it, but the power cord in the back wasn't all the way plugged in when I actually tried to plug it on and turn it on at first. So I think whoever just put it out there thought it was broken. And so I have a brand new, dang near brand new 43-inch TV now that's sitting in my closet, wrapped up in case any roaches decide to come out of it. Somebody's girlfriend threw the TV away, possibly, boss man. That's a good call right there. I have no idea. I was like, this is unreal, dude. I got free pizza, and now I have a free TV, a 43-inch TV. And this is not it in the side right here. We're going to start with the message here in a bit, ladies and gentlemen. That's not it. That's my old TV, but now I have another TV. I just have to figure out where I want it to hang up in my studio. Tonight's message is going to be insane, but let's get to some news first because we have some insane news as well. I couldn't include all the articles that I wanted to show you, but my God, there's a lot going on in the world right now. More shootings by toddlers. We'll cover that in the next live stream. The first article has to do with an 18-year-old boxer. An 18-year-old boxer is dead after she was knocked unconscious. This is crazy, man. During a match this weekend at IGA Stadium in Montreal, Canada. Her name was Jeanette Zacharias Zapata. She sustained injuries to her brain while fighting Canada's Marie-Pierre Houle on Saturday night, according to the Associated Press. Footage from the match showed the 18-year-old boxer being hit with a flurry of punches near the end of the fourth round. Zapata appeared to convulse after the 31-year-old Houle, her opponent, landed an uppercut that caused her mouth guard to fly out. 18 years old, ladies and gentlemen. 18 years old. And she was with her significant other, who was her trainer, they took her to the hospital, and she was pronounced dead later that night. Crazy, crazy, crazy thoughts and prayers are with the family. Fighting, you don't play fighting. Fighting is a brutal sport. This is another insane article, a little bit more lighthearted, but prisoners who have been released due to COVID might be going back to prison. CBS News reports that inmates on home confinement could be sent back to prison after the pandemic. Chad Ducey, a 46-year-old father of two, is one of approximately 8,300 federal inmates who were sent home last spring in an effort to slow the spread of cerveza behind bars. Last year, well, I'm not going to read that. Let's see. It says that last March, President Trump signed the CARES Act, a law that expands the Bureau of Prisons' ability to place more inmates at home confinement. But apparently, this week, the Biden administration said it will begin a clemency review of nonviolent drug offenders on home confinement who have less than 4 years left to serve, who have sentences that no longer fit the crime. It's unclear how many inmates would benefit from this or be forced to return to prison. Jesus. Could you imagine? Yeah, they're not going to get everybody, yo. They're not going to get everybody. On to our last news story of the night before we get started tonight. Another crazy story. I don't know what's going on in the news this week, dude. This week was crazy. Man caught on video holding a child, firing his pistol, grazing women with bullet after bullet in a non-damaged car crash. That's the child right there. They blurred out the face, and it looks like he's holding a SAR BP6. And, of course, he has Jordans. A man is facing assault and weapons charges and child endangerment charges after police in Cincinnati, Ohio, says he pulled a gun and fired shots while holding a child as retribution for an acquaintance who was in a minor car crash. For an acquaintance, not even for himself that was in the car crash. Police say Layden Penn, 31, was originally charged with felonious assault, child endangerment, and weapons under disability. I don't even know what that is. Video from the scene captured Penn holding and firing a gold-colored handgun while carrying an unidentified infant. The police department disseminated several screenshots from the video on Twitter. This is him right here, also known as Glocktavius. Listen, free Glocktavius. Penn and the second woman, his acquaintance, took off. Officers caught up to them a short time later and recovered the 9mm handgun they believe was used in the incident. I'll tell you what. The baby's ears are probably still ringing to this day. I don't know if you've ever fired a gun, ladies and gentlemen. If you've ever fired a gun inside, whoo, Lord have mercy. It is a brutal experience. Guns are incredibly loud. I could not imagine being right beside one. Actually, I've done it before with no ear protection. Shout out to that baby. Shout out to Glocktavius. Let's get on with the story and with the motive tonight. Hello, everybody that's just now joining. This is going to be somewhat of a quick live stream. Once again, we're going to go ahead and get into it, though. You're not ready for a woman. This is aimed, obviously, at black males or at males, period, because this is what's really going to help you, right? This is really what's going to help you right here. I'm not going to be holding back tonight. You're not ready to date. I've heard all the PUA's games, the Manosphere's games. I've heard game. But life is not a game. This is real life. It's time that you stop gaming yourself if you're a man. If you don't believe what I'm saying, it's time that you at least decide to dip your toes into the water of truth. Pause. This is not game. This is real life. Women aren't a game either, and women recognize game. So in an effort to provide more solution for men, the men that hate me, I've decided to, listen to your stories, ask for your horror stories, your experiences, your opinions on males in the dating pool. And for a little bit, I want to focus on the dating do's and don'ts, at least what's given me success that you apparently aren't having, and what's leading to your frustration of monumental levels and you joining the Manosphere and other hateful groups that berate women demonically online 24/7, right? On the last live stream, shout out to my audio listeners right there. I took a sip of coffee. My goodness, it is strong. On the last live stream, we talked about why males have a hard time getting initial interest from women. And I want to stay in that lane, right? I want to stay in that lane. We're going to branch out to different concepts over the next couple of live streams. We're going to stay in this lane because I don't think this gets covered enough by the dating coaches, PUA, red pillars, your manospheric leaders. I'm going to be listing a myriad of reasons, only a few tonight. Explanations why I'm saying this are going to follow thereafter. Buckle up. This is going to be good. Number one reason why you are not ready to date right now is because you do not have stability. And this is a really misunderstood concept. Stability. Now I know the men are going to say, "True, you always talking about money. True, you always be saying money not important. True, so how you going to be saying money not important, but you saying stability?" I know. You're saying that a bit disingenuously, and I'll tell you why, right? Money is very important. Money can add immense value to males. Money can add immense value to men, right? It can up his market value. However, in the wrong hands, money can be just as destructive. A volatile mindset with a lump sum of cash is equivalent to a V8 supercharged engine that's driving in the rain with somebody who's not in the right mind, or a young mind, or underdeveloped mind. It's an accident waiting to happen, right? So money's needed. Good things are good, but in the right hands, good things can be bad as well, right? But when you take this V8 supercharged Mustang to the drag strip, to an appropriate environment for you to actually unleash the power for what the car was designed to do, then you'll have a much safer and a better experience with that vehicle, right? Back to stability. The manosphere loves to push for normalizing men that make $40,000 a year as self-worthy and a righteous endeavor. If you're happy with that, then by all means. But the truth is, in 2021, in this year, $40,000 isn't cutting it anymore. And I'll explain to you why, right? Now, $40,000 a year in Blue Mountain, Alabama, which is a city in Alabama, which has a population of 236, apparently. I looked this up. $40,000 a year might actually work, right? It might be okay. Thank y'all so much for the super chats. I see it already going right now. SPA Apprentice with the $3 super chat, as well as Organic Black with the $11.11 super chat. I like that. I like that. Yeah, let me see. You were crazy. I appreciate that support. In Blue Mountain, Alabama, $40,000 a year is okay. All right. But here's the number for you. The census reports that more than 86% of Americans live in metropolitan areas. So this means that it's counties that include or are adjacent to major cities with populations of 50,000 people or more. This is an all-time high. So what this pretty much means is nobody's living in Blue Mountain, Alabama right now. People are wanting to live near the cities. The overwhelming majority of people live near the cities. And we know cities are more expensive. We'll talk about why in a little bit. But comparing $40,000 in Blue Mountain, Alabama, and $40,000 in Dallas, Texas, are two very, very different qualities of life, right? So this is a statement that's said a bit disingenuously. We'll say, well, half of men make this amount of money. Well, that's good. $40,000 today isn't what $40,000 15 or 20 years ago was, right? You're not quite stable yet, but hold on a second. This is going to make sense in a while. All right. The census also reports that rural America is shrinking year by year. So with access to technology and access to different varieties of life, colors of life, humans more than ever are seeking to experience what they never knew existed. Thanks to the 6-inch device in your pocket, get your mind out of the gutter, your cell phone. We're looking for the vast array of experiences that life has to offer. This is why a lot of people love living in the big city, and why a lot of people love the idea of Hollywood and the Hollywood lights and the New York City lights, right? This is why millions of people for decades on end have flocked to go to the big cities, because there's appeal to it. So we know that the overwhelming majority of people live near or around large cities. And with larger cities comes larger expenditures. After all, the larger the city, the more access to resources you have, the more grocery stores, the more dentist office, the more emergency care clinics, the more gas stations, the more restaurants, movie theaters, malls, overall conveniences that one has access to. Notice I said conveniences. Convenience store. We've all been to the convenience store, the gas station, right? 7-Eleven, that midnight trip when you had to get that chocolate mint ice cream, even though I don't like chocolate mint ice cream at all. Name your favorite ice cream. Whatever ice cream you like, I want to see it in the chat. I like cookies and cream. That midnight run to go get something that you craved so much that you knew you didn't have access to at the general grocery store because it was probably closed. So you drove up to 7-Eleven because they offer 24/7 service in the midnight wee hours, because you knew they'd offer you a quicker, more accurate, and reliable convenience to the items that you so wanted, right? Now, you grabbed the Snickers bar, you grabbed your ice cream, you went to the front cashier, you checked out, and he said $14 and something odd cents. And for a second in your mind, you were like, dang, $14. I spent $14. But then you realize the convenience of it, and you realize that you don't have anywhere else to go to get it. So you swipe it and it's not a problem, right? You're like, okay, $14. Hey, it is what it is. It's more than I wanted to spend, but I have my stuff now. And then you walk away and leave. And you had that thought to your back of your mind, but you immediately relinquish it. Kick it to your back of your mind. You don't think about it for the rest of the night, right? We pay for convenience in life. When you go out to eat, it typically costs more than cooking, because having a restaurant make your food and serving it to you with no preparation by you is a convenience. The process of having your chicken parmesan was a long chain of events, from the truck order from the chicken growing up, first and foremost, to the truck order, to shipping the product or ingredients to the actual restaurant, storing them in the freezer or fridge or dry storage, hiring chefs who are trained to prep the food, hiring the server who then completes your order by bringing the product, a completed product, which started as the chicken in the field, to your table, and then you consuming it. That was the convenience that you paid for. That's why you pay so much more. And that's why you tip your waiters, because we pay for convenience in life. And you're willing to pay extra for that convenience, right? Now back to relationships. A lot of men want women to provide conveniences in their lives, right? But you haven't adequately actually paid for the convenience that a woman could provide for you, right? You want her to bring your food, to provide bedtime fun, to do the chores, etc. You want all the conveniences of a chef, dishwasher, a maid, Uber driver, babysitter, psychologist, without having to pay the bill. But we know what happens when you go to a restaurant and you don't pay the bill, right? You know what happens when you go to a restaurant, order a meal, and then you try and skip on the bill. They're going to call the police, and they're going to say, "Hey, he didn't pay. He didn't pay for the service that we gave him." And you might go to jail. You might not go to jail. In the movies, they used to send you to the back to wash dishes. I don't think they do that anymore. I'm sure there's something that they do to collect the lost wages, right? You haven't paid accordingly for what you were fronted. Now, you know when you can't afford to go out to eat and you simply don't go out to eat. You know if your card's going to decline that you're not going to go to Applebee's that night because you don't have the money to do it, right? You know when you can't afford to buy those pairs of shoes because you can't buy them. Whether or not you still buy them, if you have a credit card or access to credit, it's irrelevant. You can't afford it, so you shouldn't, right? The reality is most of you guys cannot afford a woman. You simply cannot afford a woman in your life. Let's get back to stability. What is stability? Google's definition of stability is incredible. Google defines stability as this: the quality, state, or degree of being stable, such as A, the strength to stand or endure firmness; B, the property of a body that causes it, when disturbed from a condition of equilibrium or steady motion, to develop forces or movements that restore the original condition. That's a complicated way of saying stability is when life starts to hit you crazy. You have the ability to balance yourself out and shake back out to normal, to equilibrium, right? Kind of like a palm tree. You'll see palm trees in the wind rocking back and forth like crazy, and they may look like they're about to snap, but palm trees are magnificent beings. I mean, they're alive essentially because they are able to bend, but not break. And after the storm's over, they might tilt a little bit, but for the most part, a lot of palm trees go back to their original state. This is why you see a lot of palm trees, particularly in tropical areas like Florida. Florida has a lot of hurricanes, right? You see a lot of palm trees near the beach, near watery areas, because they're able to withstand the pressures and the forces that the storms break other trees under, right? Palm trees are very stable. Right? A lot of you guys, and this is the problem here, you expect women to add stability to your life, right? That's not her job. I remember when my ex left me and I felt betrayed while I was trying to get business off the ground. She was making her own life stable. And when I became completely unstable, she decided to leave, rightfully so. You see, I wasn't stable at the time, and I didn't have the strength to stand or endure the storms that were getting ready to really impede my life. Right? She saw that. I wasn't able to balance out my equilibrium if life was going to try and blow me away, which it did. She saw that. What initially attracted her to me was, in essence, the reason that she left, because I had stability, and I lost stability. Now, the manosphere varies in range and ages of men, okay? From teens to their mid-50s. All kinds of men are in the manosphere right now watching this content, right? The manosphere has no limit on age. We've had 15-year-old children call in. We've had 60-year-old males call in. There's no limit on the age, right? But this concept can be applied to all ages of men. If you're 23 years old and you're still living with your parents, you are not stable, okay? You shouldn't be trying to date women, period. Right? If you are 28 and you have 3 roommates, you're not stable, right? Not as a man. You shouldn't be trying to date women, period. If you're 30 and you have a roommate, you're not stable. You shouldn't be trying to date women, period. Right? You are not yet stable. It is in you, as well as your lady's best prospective interest to leave you alone and to remain friends because you have not built a stable world for yourself to function in without the assistance of her. Okay, this is very important. We'll have some video examples of this in a little bit. This is very important. A lot of men are seeking this 50-50 relationship because, let's be honest, it's not always the easiest to live in America, right? It's expensive. It's no excuse, but it can be expensive at times. I understand, especially depending if you don't have actual fiduciary responsibility to or fiscal responsibility to really maintain or watch the money that you have going out compared to the money coming in, right? It could be a challenge. But you as a man, building your stability based off of an idea that you both carry the burden of stability, aka 50-50, is the worst thing that you can do for yourself. And here's why. All right. If she was to ever leave you, you would not pose the ability to counterbalance the forces that her removing herself from your life would cause you. You wouldn't have the ability to be that palm tree in the wind because you've built your stability. You've built your actual base of your fortification of the fortress based off of her stability or adding herself adding her stability to your stability, right? This is the concept that a lot of you guys just fundamentally will not understand no matter how many times I say it. The reason why you cannot date unless you have a certain amount of money or economic resources available to you is because if you build a relationship built on 50-50 from the very beginning, and you do not at that point still have the drive to make yourself as a man a better man that earns more money, that does better for himself, that seeks to build businesses, that seeks to go out and conquer, that forever doesn't have the idea that 50-50 is going to be the way that you get through the rest of socio-capitalistic America through a business contract like marriage or through an actual lifelong habitual relationship together. If you get comfortable, which is what happens a lot of the times when you get in a good situation as a man with her adding stability to your life, then you're going to forever be counting on her stability. Number one, women don't like that. Some women don't mind it at all, but however, and I understand that relationships still have to have both people at sometimes putting into it, but you as a man should always be trying to push a little bit harder to get as much of the stability as a household under your grasp completely 100% outside of that 50-50 that you have the ability to do. A lot of you guys end up getting complacent, and I'm going to show some videos later of how this actually really hurts you, right? I'm going to show some videos later, and you're really going to understand what I'm saying. All right. Here's a couple of examples to get you to understand why stability is so important to women. I'm going to show you this video, and shout out to Lexus Exodus. I'm going to drop her links in the chat right now. Make sure you subscribe to Lexus Exodus. Her channel is very interesting. And when I was making this video, she actually showed this video as well. And I was like, well, she just showed it, so I got to definitely give her credit for this. This video is about a guy who's getting kicked out of his apartment. Now, obviously, this guy probably doesn't have anywhere else to go, judging by the way that he's kind of in a horrible state right now, right? So the backstory is that he cheated on his girl. And now he doesn't have anywhere to go. It's kind of late for that now, but you're going to see what happens when you build your stability and the stability of a woman. Now, this is an extreme case. This was his fault to begin with, but whether or not it's his fault or her fault, it's irrelevant. When you don't have your own stability, it could possibly lead to some bad situations and outcomes for you, right? So let's watch this video here. Let's watch this for a second, and then we're going to continue on. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate y'all watching right now. 121 people in here on our slow Saturday night for us. So let's watch this. Did I share the audio? I'm not sure if I did. Make sure I shared the audio. All right, I shared the audio. Here we go.
You better, man. I can show you better. I'm begging you. I'm please. I can show you better. I know I can, man. I know it. I just know it, man. Just let me, please. I know the past time you done gave me chance after chance. You have. You always give me benefit of the doubt. You always believe in me. Just please, man.
What am I giving you another chance to do?
Just please. Not to hurt you. Not to mistreat you. Not to lie to you. None of that. You're not giving me a chance to let you down. Please.
My man is begging,
Please, I'm fucking begging you, please.
Like, bro, I'm not gonna even lie, bro. At that point, I mean, man, the car is not that bad. Living in the car is bad, bro, but it's not like that bad. I mean, my goodness, maybe he doesn't have a car, but this is bad. Trust me, I did it for a long time. It's not that bad, bro. You'll be able to make it if you have, like, a job or something.
Please. Just this one, just please, man. I'm telling you, this is not the life, man. This is not the fucking life, man. Please. Please, man. Please, please, please. You already said I can't go with you, but that's okay. But please. Please,
My goodness.
please, I'm telling you,
I want to say also, like, gentlemen, if you ever get to this point with the lady, it's over. Like, bro, bro, once you put yourself in a position like this, she's gonna always look at you like, bro, like, come on, man, you have some kind of backbone, bro. You know, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I begged my girl to stay as well. But I don't think I was ever on my knees crying for my girl to stay. I don't think I ever did, but I did beg her to stay. I'm not gonna lie.
This is not the fucking life, man. This is not the normal, man. This is not the, oh, here we go again. No. Just please. You already put in your brother, so I know I can't go, man. But just please, man. Just please. I'm begging you. Please. Like this,
You
please.
better find the 3
please.
trash bags.
Alexis, Mom, I'm begging you. Please. Please, man. Please.
Lord,
Alexis, look at me. Please, man. That's all I can keep saying is just please.
Please what?
Please, man. Please.
No.
God, Alexis, please, man. Please. Please. This is not the life, man. I promise. Just come on, man. Please. Please, Alexis.
All right, well, wait. When I'm done texting my baby daddy, then I'll do it.
Oh,
No
man.
problem.
My God.
You get destroyed right now.
Yeah.
All right. If it's up to me, I'm sure he's still begging right now, to be honest. I'm sure he's still on the floor right now. Thank you, Precious Faith alone, for the $5 super chat. Says you better go find those 3 trash bags. Right. So this man built his stability in a woman, right? And this is why it's so dangerous. Now, this is his fault that he got kicked out. But even if something happened and it wasn't his fault and he got kicked out, he'd still probably be begging in the same way that he is now. Men, you cannot build your stability in a woman. Moreover, women do not like when you have to build your stability in them. If you're not stable enough to live an adult life, a normal adult life in socio-capitalistic America without a woman at that particular time, then you're not ready to date, bro. I'm not saying that you have to be making $65,000 a year, pushing this car, doing this, doing that, but you have to be able to function as an adult outside of her immediate help. You have to be able to do that. A lot of you guys aren't able to do that right now. And we're going to take this a step further. We have another video. Now this, we have another article. This isn't a video here, but I'm going to read this article to you. And I'm going to show you this article. I don't know if this is exactly, along the same lines, but it'll prove the point of what I'm saying right now. This guy's name was, shout out to the cell phone. This guy's name was Cedric Adarius Harris. This happened in Houston, Texas. Cedric, Lord have mercy, I can't even read this. A man is charged with capital murder after police say he shot his ex-girlfriend to death and injured her 4-year-old child during an early morning shooting last week at a West Houston apartment. Police say Cedric Adarius Harris, 24, surrendered on Monday, 24 years old. According to investigators, Harris kicked in the front door of 28-year-old Kimberly Robinson's apartment around 4:20 a.m. Friday in the 1800 block of Barker Cypress Road. Robinson and her 4-year-old daughter were inside the bedroom where at least 6 shots were fired. The little girl was hit with shrapnel at least twice, but she's reportedly conscious and breathing at a hospital. 4 of the children were downstairs at the time of the shooting, including a 10-year-old who called relatives for help after it happened. None of the other children were hurt. The victim had reported at least one domestic violence incident prior to the police about a month ago, according to Houston Police Sergeant Michael Casso. He goes on to say, "This is my second domestic violence related homicide in the past couple of weeks." Right. So it sounds like, and then he said she had already kicked him out a couple of months ago. She had kicked this guy out, and he kicked down her door and killed her while she slept. Right. How does this relate to stability? Well, I'm willing to bet that this man wasn't stable outside of her residence, right? You see, men in the manosphere, males in the manosphere, you guys don't understand what being stable is. The men in both of these videos, or in one video in this article, are severely emotionally unstable. When you don't have your own life in order, when you haven't built a world that can operate independently of a woman's world, you are not financially stable. Therefore, if the worst happens to you and she leaves, you become very emotionally unstable. See, this is why I make this connection to why money is important, but money isn't necessarily making a man high value. Money is very important because it adds emotional and physical stability to your life. You need money to survive. And if you're not physically stable, if you don't have somewhere where you can rest your head at relatively consistently, then that leads over to emotional instability in your life, which is then gonna go to every other aspect of your life as well, right? Stable. So let's dig a bit deeper here. This is very important. This is something the manosphere has a hard time with. When a woman asks you what you do for your career, all right, she's trying to figure out if you're stable, right? Not just financially. Now, the financial stability can lend itself over to emotional stability. And in this case, like we just saw, this is exactly the reason, right? Because she knows that you won't be relying on her to add financial stability or emotional stability to your life, which in turn will mean that you won't lose your mind if you two break up. All right. Side note. This is why sometimes women test their men's emotional stability. And this is another thing that guys just don't understand because they have no empathy. They have no situational nuance. They say sometimes that women give guys shit tests, right? Shit test. And this is true. Right? This is true. What women do is they try and figure out your emotional tolerance, the amount of emotional intelligence or self-control or with strength that you have. And they do this for a very specific reason. Women are very smart, man. Women are very smart, much smarter than guys. Right? They might say something or do something to figure out where your emotional restraint is. Essentially, it's a self-defense mechanism to assure her that the person that she's essentially placing her physical safety with during the wee hours of the morning as you cuddle in the bed together, the person that she decides to spend a lot of her time with, to be alone with a lot of the times, is a guy who won't lose his mind and become emotionally unstable if something happens, if he hears something. If she decides not to hang out with them that night. And she'll say things every once in a while just to figure out where you're at, right? And they do it purposely because she needs to know that the man who could potentially overpower her and in some cases take her life isn't a guy that does not have a severe manic instability. So they give you a shit test to figure out where you're at. And a lot of you guys fail the shit test because you don't have emotional stability, which is why the manosphere is growing by the millions right now. Not all women do this, but a good amount of women do this. And rightfully so. The shit test, as it has been dubbed, it doesn't last forever, right? Some women don't do this at all, once again. But this is another facet of women that men don't understand or really have any... it's really not emphasized inside of the manosphere. It's seen as a negative thing when really it's a positive thing. And it really does show you where you're at as a man, because if you're flipping out based off of what a woman does or says all the time, then that shows her that you're not really that emotionally stable or alpha, as you like to put it, right? In which case it's not going to work out for you, right? Now, you have to realize once again, you're stronger than a woman if you're a man, right? She wants to know that the worst thing that could possibly happen is as far away from possible as reality as possible, all right? She wants to know that the person that she's with is a healthy, emotional, stable male that won't harm her, whether physically, mentally, no matter what. Now, it's very obvious and apparent to me that most of the men in the manosphere in society, quite frankly, I can't even say that. I can't say that. But when you fail the shit test, what she sees is someone who is physically stronger than her that could do her potential serious harm. And so when you fail that initial test, her saying something and she's just trying to see how you're going to respond to it, right? When you fail that test, she automatically, oh, nope, I don't want to be with him. Because I might say something that I don't mean to insult him, that I don't mean to piss him off, and I don't want to have to deal with the man trying to possibly hurt me, who's stronger than me, who's more manic, who's more emotionally unstable than I am. Some of you guys are not stable. See, it's not just about money, but it's about emotional stability as well. And as I watch Kevin Scamuel's chats, and as I watch some of you talk in these manospheric rooms, it becomes very apparent and obvious to me and everybody that watches your insolence that you are not stable in your mind, and you need a lot of emotional help. So women have to do this for self-defense and protection. They have to test you. Because during the first couple of months, you're giving your best foot forward. Hey, babe. Oh, yeah, babe, you're so awesome. Yeah, babe, definitely. Hey, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And so she doesn't really know who you are, right? She doesn't know what you really represent, right? Because everybody tries to put their best foot forward in the first couple of months in the relationship and the dating. You're trying to make it seem like you're Prince Charming, when really you have a lot of demons underneath. But she doesn't know about the instability that you have underneath until it finally pops out. And God forbid that it pops out. She assumes that there were no demons to begin with, but by that time it's too late. And now she's in a situation, right? Stability. Women are very smart, right? It's immediately game over for her when she sees that you failed the test, as it should be. Now, a lot of women are packing the Second Amendment rights, right? They're packing firearms now. as they should. They refuse to be victims of domestic violence. But just as we saw in the article a few minutes ago, the woman had already kicked the man out. But because he was so emotionally unstable and connected to her for so long, because he had no stability outside of her, he kicked down her door and then he gunned her where she lived. So a lot of women do these tests early to figure out exactly what you represent. And if you fail that test early, you won't get that call back. A lot of you guys go on these dates with women and you don't get a call back and you're like, man, I thought the date was going good. I thought everything was great. Right? Well, you thought everything was great, but the question she was asking you, she was testing you. She might not have given you an outright shit test to say something to make you angry intentionally, right? But she's been testing you this entire time, and your responses didn't pass the test. All right? You guys don't understand this. It's game over. The manosphere has no empathy, and they don't have the ability to understand why women do what they do and say what they say because they're emotionally unstable. Not only are you severely emotionally unstable, but you're pairing with the financial instability you have. It's no surprise why you're not able to find women. Now, I'm going to go back to this for a second, but I want to say something. Well, I'm not going to say that right now. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to piss people off if I say that. Now, you might say, Truth, I live with roommates because I'm saving money for the future, right? I'm 22, I'm 23, I'm 24, I'm saving money for the future. Great. That's wonderful. But the future isn't here yet. You're still a work in progress. So keep working on yourself. And when the future finally arrives, you can invite that woman into your world that you have built for her and show her the work that you've done so that eventually she can really get to understand how different or how you differentiate yourself, how you're special, how you're a different, vibrant color from the majority of the crayons in the box. So I understand that, right? But understand something before I kind of go back to this instability thing. Even in the animal kingdom, the most dominant males, the most vibrantly colored birds, the loudest and the proudest males get women. This is how it goes. Males even fight each other in the animal kingdom for women. This is how it goes. Those are the guys that mate. So what distinguishes you? What do you have that women can identify you to pick you out from a crowd, right? Now you might say, Truth, I live by myself. I pay my bills. I am stable. I'm stable. That's great. I'm happy for you. But I still don't have the interest of women. Okay. Let me explain this. So you say you're stable. Not reading any of the comments right now. Shout out to the moderators in the comment section, right? Shout out to y'all. I'm not reading any of the comments. So you say, I'm stable. Okay, let me ask you this then. Are you prepared to pay a $1,000 deductible right now in case your vehicle needs to have a claim filed because somebody hit you or because you totaled your vehicle or something? Are you able to pay $1,000 right now at any given time to repair your vehicle and return back to normalcy in your life? The answer is most of you aren't. Most males aren't. You know how I know this? Because spendnot.com reports that 69% of adult Americans have less than $1,000 in your savings account. So you need to you need to understand something, guys. Being stable doesn't mean that you've been able to pay your rent in your apartment for the past 2 months or for the past 2 years. That's not being stable. That's living, right? Being stable means that when emergencies happen in life, and you're not able to function or at least rely reliably on your job or employment to get you through that emergency, that you've had enough of a backnet, enough of a backing, enough of a support that you built and saved financially to be able to get yourself through this rough time. If 69% of Americans don't have $1,000 in the savings account, and then it goes on to say like 49% of people don't even have a savings account, but if 69% of Americans don't have $1,000 ready for emergencies at any given point in time, then I'm going to go ahead and assume that the least earning groups of males, black males, are probably going to be the overwhelming majority of that statistical number, right? That's just how it kind of goes there. So stability is not just being able to pay your rent on time. Stability is encompassing a lot of different aspects of life, right? Now, if you do have $1,000 set aside, right, to repair your car, to get back on the road, does your vehicle have an insurance policy that also has a rental car agreement clause enabling you to rent a car to resume your life back to normalcy, right? Are you looking towards the future? Are you planning ahead just in case emergencies and things like that happen? That causes stable environments, even when instability, even when the winds and the storms of life are shaking you back and forth. Are you able to still be a palm tree, even when you have nothing that can support you at the time? Have you built enough of a safety net in that time? Would you still be stable for a few months if you lost your job right now? That's what stability is. Stability isn't always saying, well, I have a job and I'm able to do this in my job right now. It's all going good. No, because your jobs can disappear just like that, right? We saw with this whole pandemic, just like that, people were laid off and things got real crazy for a lot of people, right? And so they thought they were stable. Just like that, things can change. Stability is not what you think it is, guys, right? Now, I want to say something about women here. Well, before I say this, I know right around this time, a lot of guys are gonna say, "Well, what do my bills have to do with her truth? I mean, we're not married, we're not this and that, right?" I get it, I get it. This is yet another reason why you struggle to understand women. See, women's minds work differently than our minds work, right? Uh, Women constantly look into the future, constantly, right? They're good planners. A lot of the times, better planners than we are. They're constantly looking into the future. This is why women, side note, are oftentimes a lot better at cheating than we are as guys. We don't have the strategic planning to be able to kind of smoothly progress. And this is obviously a horrible, point that I'm making here, but we don't have that sight, right? The foresight to not get caught cheating over a long period of time. Women can stuff it out like that. A, a woman could be cheating forever, and a guy will never know, right? That's because women can plan things accordingly. They're very good at it, right? Now, the good thing about this is when a woman actually does find a man that she wants to build with, when she actually does find a guy that she feels like she can go ahead and look to the future, to hop on the game plan with, when she finds a guy that she wants to actually use her skill sets to support or to actually run together through the marathon of life with, then you have a very valuable asset in a woman because they operate fundamentally different than we do as guys, right? It's a beautiful asset to have in a woman once she decides that your game plan is the one that she wants to strategize along with. But in order for you to have that advanced level of strategic thinking on your side, you need to have the basic levels of life down to a T, right? This includes being stable. You don't have to have the conversation of stability when you're talking to a woman, when you're out on a date. This is what your bills have to do with dating in women, right? You simply answering and smiling at these questions that she's asking you is formulating equations in her head that's gauging your stability, because stability is important to women, right? So, truth, what does my bills have to do with her? I'll explain to you why. It has a lot. Once again, this is why guys go on the dinner date and they think that they did so well, and then they never get a call back. They're like, "Dang, she didn't even call me back. What the heck what went wrong?" Well, she was formulating who you were, what you were going to in the future, what your drive, what your passion, what your career. Uh, on the last live stream we had a guy say, "Well, and shout out to him. I know, he's going through a lot right now. Shout out to him." But he said that that the girl didn't have any desires or dreams and things of that nature, and you have to understand, once again, the guys, men and women operate fundamentally differently. Yes, some girls do have dreams and desires and they want to go on to be professionals and things of that nature. Some girls don't. But what I can assure you is that the girls that don't necessarily have a drive to do something that they haven't at least formulated in their minds at that time, they still will be able to plug into a guy's game plan if they deem that he is the type of guy that she wants to roll along with, right? And so we might explain this a little bit later on in the stream, but just because a girl doesn't have anything that she's necessarily interested in doing at that time doesn't mean that she's just a bump on the log, right? The good thing about a master achiever, the good thing about a dominant male is that he can take what a woman has, what her skill sets actually have innately, what she has innately inside of her, and bring the very best out of her. And likewise, she can do the same for him, as long as they're a compatible match, right? It's kind of more advanced for y'all, but we'll kind of taper it there. We'll just leave it there, right? So she goes to him after the conversation. Right? You didn't size up with her game plan, man. Now everybody's on different levels, and I'm not saying all women are seeking to go on dinner dates and sizing up men, especially while they're in their early 20s, right? I'm not saying that. Obviously, some people go on dates just because they want to hook up, because they're young, they want to date. That's a cool thing to do. Dating's whatever it might be now, right? It's not as much of an exclusive type relationship anymore in 2021, right? But the fact of the matter still remains: the quicker you can become stable as a man, the better. The quicker you're stable as a guy, the better. All right. Side note here. Well, what do my bills have to do with her as a woman? A lot of you guys don't believe in giving women money. And I'm going to be completely honest, right? Completely honest. I'm already a simp for saying half the things I'm saying, and I haven't even talked about giving women money. But I'm going to be honest here. A lot of guys won't ever change on this. Now, me personally, if I'm with a woman and we've been dating for months and she needs help with the car tire, right? I'm interested. She's interested. Hell, maybe I don't think we even have a future together. I don't know. This is the type of guy I am. Whatever. if she needs help for some kind of small bill, whatever it might be, and she texts me, she says, "Hey, you have 60, you have $100, you have 100, you have $200." You can call it simping or whatever. But guys who have resources, they help women out. I have no problem giving money to help women out, particularly particularly women that I'm actually already maybe physically or romantically involved with, and there's some kind of reciprocating energy there. I have no problem helping out with the bill, giving her money. That don't bother me, man. If you choose not to add anything to her, that's fine, but don't get upset. Don't get upset when she ends up leaving or trying to talk or strategizing for putting herself into relationships with guys who are the simps that you so denigrate, right? Don't be upset when she chooses to do bad by herself. If you aren't adding anything to her when she actually needs you to add something to her, then why would she see you as a stable cause? Why would she see you as a worthwhile relationship? What exactly are you adding to her life as a man if when her time and need actually comes, you're not there for her, right? A lot of guys have a big problem with that, especially in modern day. A lot of guys, now I don't know if it's because you don't have money. I don't know if it's because you don't have resources. If you don't have the money, then I understand that. That's cool. That's fine and dandy. But you can't expect for her to stay around in your dust. And make no mistake about it. Some ladies, they'll be okay with it, right? They'll say, okay, well, hey, I appreciate it. I'll try and go get money for my family members, and they'll still date you. This isn't all women, right? But if she doesn't call you back or text you back, or if she does ghost you, I don't know what exactly you would be upset at her for, right? Love don't pay the bills, man, right? Love doesn't pay the bills. Moreover, alphas win. The guys who have resources win. Just like in the animal kingdom, the biggest, the strongest, the most vibrant colors are the ones that procreate, that end up having more generations of big, strong males, right? Winners win, and we're mammals at the end of the day. The guys who are doing the best in life, who have the most resources to lend over to access for women so they can live better lives, so they can have a more easier life, so they can be ingratiated, that's not the right word, but I'm going to say it anyway, into the world that you've created for them. Those are the guys that get the women, right? Being stable is being able to do things like that and not having it affect your own personal life, not having it affect your emotional stability if she decides never to talk to you again. If I give her money, if I help her pay the bills and she decides never to text me again, that's fine. Okay, hey, it is what it is. I helped out. I did a good cause. That's not going to affect me that much anymore. Will I be a little hurt? Yeah, I might be a little hurt. That's not going to cause me to have a lifelong retributional rage towards women. That's not going to fundamentally change who I am, because I'm stable enough to know that I'm in a position that no matter what happens, I'll be okay. I'm going to make it through it. Bad things are always going to happen to you in life, right? But on the flip side, if you're one of the guys that she knows that she can actually rely and count on, I would wager say that your chances are probably a little bit better for a long relationship or a long-term relationship, if that's what you seek and you desire. We have to stop treating money as such a taboo subject. Money is not that taboo. Money is very necessary. And if you like a girl, if you like her, then why not, bro? If $100, if $200 is going to affect you that much, then you probably shouldn't be dating, right? You're not stable. I want to show you something. This takes us to our comment of the day. Let me go to this comment of the day really quickly. And if I'm missing y'all's chats or super chats, I'm sorry. I've been looking for it to make sure I see the colors, but I didn't see any colors. But if I did, I'm sorry. So give me 1 second, y'all. I need to move my chat box. Oh, okay, I did miss one. There's one at the top right there. Let me read this super chat really quickly before we go on. Let's see. Lady Biz for the $10 super chat. Let me scroll all the way up, make sure I didn't miss any. All right, good deal. Lady Biz for the $10 super chat says, you let them know how to level up and it hurts. Yeah. Listen, man. These guys want results, but once again, they're the same color as every crayon on the box. They do nothing that separates themselves. Now, what they'll say is, oh, you're a blue pill simp. They'll say a beta male provider. Well, truth, there you go, being you being beta male provider, trying to say that you're supposed to give money to women, and the women's going to end up playing you. Guys, most of y'all don't even have money to give to the women, right? So there's no way for them to play you. Okay, there's nothing to play you for, dude. Okay, if I get played, I get played. Life goes on, bro. But not all women are out to play you. Most women aren't out to play you. Some are. Life goes on. Now you know, right? Now, I'm not saying, and obviously you're gonna have to be judicious with the lending. And if you feel that she is trying to just get over on you, then hey, sometimes you might have to say no, right? If you feel that it's just wrong or that she might be manipulating you, if she doesn't show particularly vested interest that you're showing, if she doesn't text you back for a couple of days on end, then yeah, maybe she's not as interested in you, and it's time to have a conversation, right? But if y'all are cool, y'all are good, y'all are gravy, y'all are talking back and forth, you're spending night after night together, you're having sex, you're watching movies, you're going on dates, she loves cuddling with you, this and that, if everything's good, bro, how are you not going to give her a couple dollars? How are you not going to put some money inside of her purse? What is that really going to do for you? She's not going to see you as less of a guy because you give her money. She's just not. The manosphere's got this idea twisted, man. They've got this weird illogical way of thinking that somehow if you help women out, that makes you a simp. They call it a beta male provider, right? The providers in life are the ones with women. Okay. Oh, you're a beta male provider. Let me tell you something. You look at just about every guy that's making a pretty decent amount of money, that's able to provide for his family, and they all have women. All of them. Very rarely will you see a dust bunny with a woman, right? Because he has nothing to give to her. Now, he might be an extremely attractive guy. He might be extremely good in the bed, and that might be enough to hold her down for a while. That's not going to hold her down forever, man. It's not going to hold her down forever. Right? But at the end of the day, it's not even about her still. It still comes back to you and your own stability, right? When you move in a way in life as a man that lends itself over to being an asset to people, not just women, but an asset to people, period. Those types of relationships that you really develop over time can end up being something in the future that dramatically helps you. And I'll explain to you why. I'll explain to you how. I have a neighbor, right? My neighbor, she's a kind woman. She's a nurse. She lives right across the way from me. Super kind woman. When I first moved in here, and shout out to you watching right now, Joe. When I first moved in here, I can't say her whole name. Her name's not Joe. I know they'll be like, oh, there go True. I knew he was gay. It's a woman. I don't. And who cares if I'm not gay, but even if I was, who cares? I mean, it's 2021, guys. Like, come on, let's be real. So, shout out to all my homosexual people. I love y'all. So, when I first moved in here, I was working at Amazon. I didn't have any money, man. I was just doing bad, dude. I was doing bad. This is about 2.5 years ago. Almost 3 years ago now. I was doing bad. I didn't have any furniture. I was sleeping on the ground. I didn't have anything, right? And she was so kind. When probably the second week I was here, she came and knocked on my door. She was like, hey, I'm Joe. I just wanted to introduce myself and yada, yada, yada. I said, hey, Joe, I'm Jonathan. It's really nice to meet you. Yada, yada. We talked for a little bit. She was like, can I come in? I was like, sure, you can come in. I don't have a chair. I don't have a couch or anything, right? And she was like, why not? And I was like, well, I don't know what I said. I was like, I just moved in and yeah, I mean, I was dust. I was just next level dust, right? And she was like, okay, well, I have a chair. And so she gave me a chair. She gave me a TV. She gave me something else. And she gave me that. Hold on. She gave me this TV right here. The TV that you see. Boom. She gave me that TV right there. Right. She gave me a sound bar. She gave me a subwoofer. All of it for free. Right. All of it for free. Fast forward to, I don't know, probably, a couple months. I don't know however long it was ago now, a couple months ago. And she sent me a text. She was like, hey, I'm talking to this guy right now. Things are a little bit tight for me. She had moved out of the apartment complex because she was dealing with a crazy guy. And so for her safety, she moved out, but then she came back in and she sent me a text. She said, things are kind of tight right now, yada, yada, yada. And I gave her some cash. I just gave her some money. I said, here, Joe, don't worry about it. Right. Don't worry about it. She's like, are you sure? I was like, of course. Why not? I don't even have an emotional interest in her, right? But the fact of the matter is that what she did for me at that time was so substantial in my life that I'll always have her back as much as I can at this point. And so because I'm able to be stable now, I'm able to give back to her what she gave to me. And that feels good, right? She knows that I'll have her back, but it's because at one point in my life, what she gave to me, what I so needed and desired at that time, because I was so unstable, it changed, how our relationship was. And so forever I'll be, in debt to Joe. Right. So a lot of you guys don't understand. You see money as this taboo thing when you comes to giving to women, giving to that. It's not that at all. You fail to understand what kind of relationships you can develop with people when you end up just helping them. People who are successful in life, for the most part, are people who just gave for a good amount of time, worked really hard, and they gave a lot of themselves for a while. And then eventually, because they had so much good karma, because they gave so much, not all successful people, some successful people are just straight up sharks, right? Sharks in the water out for blood. Not all successful people. But a lot of people gave so much. They gave until it was finally their time, and people recognize the gift that they've had for giving, and then they gave back to them. That's a little bit of what happens here, right? Y'all have given me so much, and in essence, it's somewhat of an exchange, right? I give as much as I can, all of my knowledge that I have, right? So I said that to say that in life, you being stable and you being able to add stability to other people can help you so much more than you understand. So much more than you understand, right? This is a very important life concept and a life goal that really goes unsaid. This is not necessarily about relationships here, about dating, but this is relationships. You build those good connections. You might not know when you need that person, but it's good to have them. All right, it's good to have them when you need them. I was going to say the comment of the day. I completely forgot. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. The last thing I want to say here. All right. The last thing I want to say on stability is this. Once again, being stable isn't paying your bills and having a few $100s left over to go to Applebee's 2 for $25. Not that there's anything wrong with Applebee's 2 for $25. I like Applebee's 2 for $25. But you must understand the level of commitment as a man that you're asking from a woman based off of, or as it relates to the level of offering that you exhibit towards her. You can't ask for a woman's soul if all you can do is give her Applebee's 2 for $25. You can't ask for a woman's unending, unyielding following and submission if all you have is Jack in the Box, right? It doesn't work that way. It's got to be parallel. It's got to be parallel balance. It has to be equal yokes right here, okay? Let me just read this comment of the day really quickly. Or McDonald's. There you go. 2 for $25. Broke baby. Yeah, we have to keep things balanced, right? We have to keep things balanced. Jackie says, so how much should men have truth? As much as you can. As much as you can. Once again, it depends on your age. If you're young, right? If you're 20 years old, obviously you're just now starting in life. You're not going to have a lot of money. But in the same breath, you can't... You shouldn't be expecting such a serious relationship at that age, right? You shouldn't be already in the manosphere going off day and night because women are not feminine, because women don't respect you, because women aren't submitting to you. You shouldn't be a 15-year-old calling into my show trying to teach women how to be feminine, which is what we had on this channel. So it's all balanced. But how much money should you have? Well, I'll be completely honest with you. At 25, you should at least be on your way to figuring out where you are and where you stand as a man. A lot of guys have been able to figure it out by that time. Some of them haven't. I wasn't, and I didn't have it figured out at that time. By age 30, you should have a couple $1,000s at least in the bank at all times. Your bank account should never go, in my opinion, below $2,500, right? Minimum. And that's just for anything, in case anything happens. Past that, you should already know what your career path or your career choice is. Stability is money, yes, but it's also what you have going for yourself. What do you want to do in life? What are you actively doing in life? What goals did you have in your 20s? Were you able to actually start to achieve in your late 20s or early 30s right now? I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I did. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. Ever since I was young. I didn't think I'd be talking in this or YouTubing in the way that I am now, but I always wanted to make money and just be able to be a content creator on YouTube, right? So now that I'm 30, I'm able to finally start to see it out a little bit. And I think that a lot of guys finally do see or understand the progression in life by the time they get to 30, but a lot of guys don't though, right? There's a good amount that do, and then there's a good amount that don't. So there's not a finite amount of money that you should have. You should have as much as you can. Minimum $2,500 and up. Minimum, you should at least be able to live on your own. Minimum, you should be able to not go to work if you lost your job and still be able to live your life for 3 to 6 months without an income coming in consistently because you've saved up enough, right? That's where I think the $2,500 comes in. Minimum, you should have your own car, whether it's you're still paying on it or you're getting ready to pay it off soon, whatever it might be. Sorry. Minimum, you should have some kind of health insurance for yourself, right? Those are the minimum things that you need to have by age 30. If you don't have those things by age 30, if you don't have a car, a place to live, $2,500 in the bank, you shouldn't be dating. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be dating. And here's why. If the not the worst, but if the most happens and you end up getting a woman pregnant, and a child's getting ready to come into the world, your finances are going to completely change, right? Whether you end up getting put on child support, which is something I know all the Manosphere guys talk about, or whether it comes down to her needing to, if you're going to have a relationship together, keep the child, raise the child together, whether it comes down to her needing to have, health checkups, when the baby's born, to have Pampers, to have food, depending on whether or not she's going to go back to work or she's not going to work for a while. You're going to need to have a lot of money kind of already set aside. You're going to have a decent amount set aside because you're going to burn through it very quickly. And we know that 80% of males, black males, have children by the age of 40. So when it comes time to how much money you need to have by age 30, you need to have some racks saved up, bro. Because as the statistics show, you're getting ready to spend some racks within that next decade right there in the birth of a child, right? So as much money as possible, bro, as much money as possible. The more money, the better. Once again, money doesn't make you valuable necessarily, but a man who's good with his emotions and who's good with his financial literacy is a man of value, okay? And women see that, right? So as much as you can, man. Let me show this comment of the day really quickly. Oops. Okay. Comment of the day actually has. This actually has more kind of to do with looks, but it has something to do with the money aspect as well too, right? Smart Cookie also says, also don't go shopping at your parents' house. Appreciate you, Yagi. King Shenard running a cult. Yes, I know, King Shenard. I know. This is a cult. Telling you to become better is running a cult. I'm literally speaking to guys right now, but it's a cult, of course. We'll block you for now, King Shenard, since this is a cult. Oh, King Shenard had another comment. I didn't get to see your other comment, King Shenard. I'm gonna have to try and check it out later. I'm trying my best, IK. I'm trying my best. Soulman says minimum you should have a retirement account. Absolutely. Sherelle says I can't see me needing anybody to give me $50 at this point, but I will just ask to see if you have it to give it to me. Right. We said that earlier. It's kind of that test, right? Just the women are trying to figure out where you're at, right? Trying to figure out where you're at. Soulman says minimum you need to have an 8-month emergency fund. Absolutely. Ty. Hey, Dororo, good to see you. Alex says, I've only seen one video of a man giving women advice on femininity that actually made sense. He was an Australian dude. Interesting. All right, let's go to this comment of the day really quickly. Man, I've been talking for an hour and 6 minutes. Look at that coffee, man. I didn't even drank half of this coffee. This coffee's serious. Y'all hear this coffee, man? This coffee in my cup. Mm-hmm. I love you too. Yes, he's blocked from the cult. All right. Comment of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Share my screen. This comes to us from Rainice Edie. Thank you, Rainice, for the comment of the day. I appreciate you. Rainice says you give really great advice. Thank you, Rainice. The first thing I notice when a guy walks up to me is his appearance. If he's dressing like a teenager and he's in his 20s or older, that's a major turnoff. If he looks unkempt, yuck. The next I listen to how they speak and what restaurant they suggest. If they ask me to pick the restaurant or plan the date, turn off, right? And once again, guys, this goes back to show you that you need to have your own world already built that she can just walk into. Women don't like having to have pressure of decisions or stability made or placed upon them. They don't like that, right? And what she said in the end is very interesting there. She doesn't want to give the restaurant to go out to eat. You should already have the restaurant picked out. You should have everything already planned out for yourself because this is the world that you're showing her and you're trying to show her new experiences. I'd say probably 85% of the time, I picked out the place to eat, right? And what's funny about it is if I picked out a place and I said something, she'd be like, well, I want to go here. right? And so I'd be like, okay, well, we go there, right? But that initial decision wasn't on her at that time. She just wanted to kind of get the ball rolling, get the conversation going. Every date that I went on, it was something that I planned out for the most part, unless she had something she really wanted to do, you know. So, for instance, one of the times we went out to sushi, she just been ranting, raving about sushi. And funny story, I didn't even have enough money to pay the bill at the time, right? Talk about embarrassing. This is why stability is important, guys. You don't want to get caught at a place with your boo and you don't have the money to pay it because the restaurant is more expensive than you think. Have as much money as possible. Those kind of things are very embarrassing and they leave lifelong impressions. Now, she might be a really sweet girl and understanding, right? But as a guy, that'll scar you, that'll hurt you. So what I'm saying is it's not just to give you women, but this is to protect you. It's to protect your own ego. Make as much as you can. You never know when life will happen. You never know. We were at the sushi place, and I saw this, and I told this story before, but I saw this white lady. She came up to our table, and she had a big old diamond on her finger. I was like, did you see that ring? And my girl was like, yeah. I was like, what the hell? That should have been my clue right there that I was in over my head, but I didn't recognize it, right? Man, they gave us the bill for that sushi. That sushi was like $238, something stupid, right? I had like $75 in my bank account. I was like, oh, man. Damn. She was like, what's wrong? I was like, a lot's wrong. And of course, she had the money. She said, I'll take care of it. It's not a problem. Do you know what that feels like, bro? You know what that feels like? Now, if you're just now dating a girl, do you think she's going to call you back, bro? You think she's going to call you back after she has to pay a $238 bill for sushi? Now, listen, I don't even think she knew it was that expensive. She didn't know, right? But I was just like, hey, I saw this sushi place that has good reviews. It just so happened I was at like a 6-star sushi hotel or sushi restaurant. I didn't know. I should have done my research. It was ultimately my fault. But I had to pay for my errors, my grievous errors, and she had to literally pay for my grievous errors because I couldn't afford it, right? You guys don't understand. I say these things to really help you, but you don't understand. You'll still say, oh, you're running a cult. You're running this. All right. You keep living your life the way you want to then. Go on ahead. You're going to figure out. King Shenard's back. We're going to block your second account, King Shenard. We're going to block your second account. Queen Mercy said, no wonder we had to order salad. Right. Why sushi so high? I have no idea. Yeah, right. You got to eat. Yeah, can I get a salad? You know what? I'm not that hungry, babe. I'm not that hungry. I'm just going to get an appetizer. You don't think women know? You don't think women know that you're starving, but you have no money? Come on, bro. They'll respect you more if you just say, I don't have any money. Jalisa, yeah, you already know, who it was, Jalisa. Oh, man, it was terrible, dude. I felt so bad. So bad. Go ahead. You can claim it's a cult. It's going to be your ass left in the grass. Looks matter to women, just like our comment of the day said. I'll open the panel here in a bit. Having said that, you can look like a supermodel, guys, and I need you to understand this. You can look like a supermodel, but if you have tooth decay, bad smelling breath, it's over immediately. You can look like Tyson Beckford. What's that guy off of the stripping movie? Was it Channing? I can't remember his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The actor, the little mixed boy actor. You can look like him if you have dental decay, bad smelling breath. If you look like you haven't showered in a couple days, you might think that you smell great. If you haven't sprayed a couple sprays of cologne, you might not smell as good as you think you do. So be proactive in taking care of your hygiene. I'm going to open the panel here in a little bit. This is an immediate turnoff for women, right? Looking good is good, but actually smelling good and looking clean is good as well, right? So you don't have to be supermodel stunning looks, right? I'm not a supermodel stunning looks. I'm a little bit above average guy, right? But even if I had supermodel stunning looks, you got to take care of yourself, guys. You got to take care of yourselves. Back to the clothes. You don't have to have the latest fashion or look like you just stepped out of the Gucci store, but you can't also look like you've been wandering through the Sahara Desert for the past 3 years of your life. Now, I know I have a hole in my true religion, but it's a little stylish, right? It's a little stylish. Also, I'm not necessarily a clothes person, but I still wear cologne. I still make myself presentable, arguably, right? Sometimes I don't. I'm not going to lie with you. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm also not necessarily just actively dating at this point in my life. I'm trying to just build up my finances, right? If your shoes are looking crinkled, dirty, holes in them, replace them, right? Girls and women notice immediately. And the thought is, if he doesn't take care of himself, then why would he take care of me? For guys who are in their late 20s looking to have more of a serious relationship, a more sophisticated look is needed, just like our commenter of the day said, Rainice. For guys who are in their late 20s, buy a cheap wristwatch, have a nice frame, a pair of glasses or sunglasses, good fitting clothes. It's almost the F-boy look, but just don't be an F-boy, right? Now, we all see when people look at us in public, people, I don't know why, but when people stare at you, people act as if, they don't see people staring at them. Like we just kind of walk around and we're like, oh, they're looking at us right now. And we ignore them because we don't like confrontation, at least not psychologically. We just like, oh, well, we take a mental note. We just keep walking. But everybody knows when you're getting stares, right? So as a guy, you want to be that person that a room full of strangers perceives you to be as doing well in life. You want to catch a couple good stares. You want to represent something that she would want to walk into a restaurant or an area full of strangers with and be proud to walk into that area with, right? So the way you look really does matter. You don't have to be beautiful as far as physical appearance goes, but your actual coordination, your actual hygiene, that needs to be absolutely on point, right? Moreover, if you don't have as desirable physical features, if you say, quote unquote, right? Now, we're going to open the panel really quickly. I said I was going to open it up. If you want to hop on, you can hop on. We can just talk about whatever at this point. There you are right there. Let me pin it really quickly as I finish up my monologue. There we go, to hop onto the panel. Once again, this advice is for guys who are actually trying to date women seriously. King Shenard, he'll forever be alone. He's a loser, right? He's not going to ever be with a woman. So he's not going to be able to take and use this advice. This isn't for losers like you, King Shenard, right? Who complain about how unfair the world is, who complain that this is a cult, who complain this, who complain that. There are no solutions for you at this moment in time for your life. You are who you are. You've been 20 years in the development of insolence and idiocracies. There's no helping you, right? You will forever be what you are, right? My hair's looking extra crispy. This is for guys who actually want to put in the work, who have been putting in the work and still aren't seeing the desired results that they're looking for. That's what this live stream is for. And there are going to be more live streams for you guys who are actually trying to figure out what's going on or what can you do better because you're not attracting women. There's a lot of different levels to this dating game, and you just need to figure out what level that you need to get to before you start actually seeing the results. All right. I see you, Miss Note. I'll add you in 1 second. I forgot to get my sponsor links. Hey, Miss Know It All. Well, give me 1 second. We'll come right back to you. Oh, go ahead, Miss Know It All. I see. Hey.
Hello. I didn't know you'd have me on so quickly.
Oh no, you're fine. I completely did horrible on that transition there, so forgive me. I'm a little off today.
No problem. Hello, everyone. So
Hey.
I just wanted to say, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, it's just about, I feel like it's about, again, it goes back to accountability and understanding you want a certain kind of a woman, a certain, her to have a certain amount of attractiveness. You can't ask for what you are not willing to give. Am I right? Am I wrong? You can't ask for what you're not willing to give. And like me, for instance, I remember even years ago, I would get guys that walk up to me, oh, you're attractive. And they would try to even bypass coffee. Because I know Lovely Lee, she mentioned something, guys just wanted, oh, let's do coffee. They would just ask me, hey, who you live with? Can I come to your house and you cook me dinner? I'm like, it's like, I'm going to do anything not to spend any money at any, and it's also to kind of get you to a place where he could have sexual access to you. And my thing is, I think young men, and like you said, a 20-year-old, a 15-year-old, 20-year-old should not be complaining about women. They don't even know who they are. Even a female, we don't know who we are at 20. And they should be focusing on whatever school, gaining some kind of skills, leveling up, having a couple of jobs someone mentioned in the chat, and focusing on taking care of themselves. Now, if they want to have just someone, they could want to be somebody's maintenance man. Because, sometimes I think even women, if you don't want to get into something serious, you get you a maintenance man. You get someone to, you be clear about the rules and what it is, and you don't try to turn a maintenance man into a potential life mate. It is what it is. Because we all are human and we do have needs,
Right.
as long as you're protecting yourself and things of that nature. But my point is, yes, I agree with everything you're saying, and I think you're giving young men or older men advice about the best way of going about meeting women and obtaining a woman. And no one is not about, again, like myself personally, I don't need a guy to take me to the most expensive restaurant, but I will be honest with you, the Applebee's is not it. But there are other comparable restaurants that are kind of a little more, have a slightly upscale look. If you just look, do your research as a guy. There's so many, and the prices are comparable to Applebee's, and there's a better ambiance and a very better environment. You might spend the exact same amount, maybe a few dollars more, that you could woo a girl. And yes, know what you have, know what's out there. There's so many reviews. We live in the age of information. You can look up where there's nice local or restaurants a little further away. They always have like specials sometimes. So you can take her somewhere nice, and you don't have to be the flyest guy. But yes, good hygiene is a 100,000% must, on both ends. And again, like I said, I agree with everything you said. And I just think that if you can't ask for what you don't aren't willing to give. And I think it's not just for black males, but black females as women as well. We can't ask for what we're not willing to give. And that's what
Absolutely.
I want to say. Okay.
Absolutely. I'm still here really quickly. Lorraine, go ahead. I'm turning my AC down, y'all. I have not turned it down. This coffee is cranking up my internal temperature. Lorraine, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. I just wanted to talk about some of the reasons why I have not called a man back after a date or after a few dates, and other reasons why I know other women have not called back. Because we call and we talk to each other and we gossip about our little escapades and whatever. And just like what I said the other day about that guy AMS saying how he used to be on dates and be really, really nervous, and he wouldn't breathe or move or talk, or he would just sit there and because he was scared to say something stupid. That's a giant turnoff. Like, calm down and be yourself. So if I can't tell that if there's something wrong with you, or you're just like, you're not relaxing, you're not enjoying yourself, you don't look like you're having a good time, women are going to interpret that as you don't like them, or you're not that into them. So I guarantee before he became red pill, he probably left so many dates confused as to why it didn't go any further, when it initially seemed like the girl really liked him. But then they went on the date, and then he was, had his statue thing going, and then it fizzled out. That's why, you have to relax. You have to kind of like read the room, read her, like tell a joke, calm down. I know for a fact that I have not called the guy back because, he picked me up in the car, or I saw his car and I saw half-eaten McDonald's cheeseburger wrappers, pigsty. A lot of men think that being a bachelor means living in filth. And I've realized that. A lot of guys think that. And they make the terrible mistake of assuming women understand that because they're single and they don't have a girlfriend, we expect your house to be disgusting, or we expect your car. No, we do not. I expect you to at least clean a little bit. I mean, come on. I have seen some disgusting. I have never called, and I've totally ghosted because of that. That's ghost worthy, because why do you live like that? Are you an animal? And so what women interpret that as this dude don't even take care of himself. Look at how he lives. Does he expect me to come there and clean that? I'm not doing that. Is he looking for a slave or a servant? So if you have this idea that women are cleaners and you're a bachelor, so of course you're dirty and you're disgusting. Women, that's a no-go. That's not true. We all expect men at some point to bring up sex because men do that, and we're kind of prepared for it. We have our letdowns, or sometimes if they're with it, they'll go too. But a turnoff and a no-no, a giant no-no, especially when you don't know her, is talking about a fetish way too early. Like some super on the weird side type of thing, that's creepy. That's scary. You're going to scare her. You'll make her think that you're something, is she going to get out of this date alive? That's the first thing that I thought. Once, and men, again, because they're sexual, they think that they can talk about some fetish that sounds normal to them, but to a woman, it sounds completely weird. So you have to kind of wade in a little bit. Don't just jump in the pool. Don't just jump in the ocean, cannonball in there. You kind of gotta get her feet wet a little bit, get her used to you, talk to her a little bit, see where her comfort level is. Don't just throw something at her out of left field like that, because most likely she's going to turn and run. Those are some reasons. There's probably way more, but those are some reasons why you'll never get a call back if you do any of those things.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Doing too much too quickly. D is back in the house. D, it's good to see you again. We're going to come to you in a little bit, D. I see some of the comments there. I can't see everybody's comments, but I'm going to play this video. I did see this video. A request was made one more time, so we're going to watch our good friend here, beg for his life one more time. I know it's a bit humiliating, but special request here, so we're going to watch it one more time. I did find it pretty funny, so we'll check it out, and then we'll continue on and with our next panel member.
Better, man. I can show you better. I'm begging you. I'm begging. Please. I can show you better. I know I can, man. I know it. I just know it, man. Just let me, please. I know the past time you done gave me chance after chance. You have. You always give me benefit of the doubt. You always believe in me. Just please, man.
What am I giving you another chance to do?
Just please. Not to hurt you. Not to mistreat.
Look at that tear, man. That's a tear right there.
Treat you. Not to lie to you. None of that. You're not giving me a chance to let you down. Please. I'm fucking begging you. Please. Just this one. Just please, man. I'm telling you, this is not the life, man. This is not the fucking life, man. Please, man. Please. You already said I can't go with you, but that's okay. But please. I'm telling you, this is not the fucking life, man. This is not the normal, man. This is not the, here we go again. No, please. You already put it in, so I know I can go, man. But just telling you, this is not the fucking life, man. This is not the normal, man. This is not the, here we go again. No, exes, Mom, I'm begging you, please. Please. I'm telling you, this is not the fucking life, man. This is not the normal, man.
I gave you a C something. I can't read the rest of it because I can't see it. Make sure to turn your YouTube app off and just watch it inside of the StreamYards. All right, just watch it inside the StreamYards because we're going to hear a delay. So turn your YouTube off and listen to it inside of StreamYards right now since you're in the room. We're going to go ahead and move on here. I believe Linlin was next. Linlin, the floor is yours. And then after Linlin, we're going to go with I know Kira doesn't have to say too much sometimes, so we'll go to D after Linlin. But Linlin, go ahead. The floor is yours. And D, you are next up. You are in the batter's box.
Hi, good evening. How is my sound?
Your sound sounds great.
Okay, awesome. That has to be the one video or one example that I've ever seen where a man on his knees is actually not romantic. Because,
great point.
Usually a man on his knees brings about romantic imagery, and that was just not it. Please don't ever be that dude. Please just don't ever be that man. But to Loren's point earlier about, these guys, when they go on dates, it's they don't even try. I've definitely not called a guy back simply because he picked me up in a dirty car. I went on a date because I'm not going to be rude, but when you pick a girl up in your car and it's dirty, or you didn't even bother to wipe down the footboards and your car is full of mud or dirt or junk, it shows that to a degree that you don't care, you don't respect this person that you're about to take out. It's one thing if it's not a planned thing, but you plan to take this person out, you plan to take this woman out, you couldn't even bother to clean your car. Some of these men aren't even bothering to shower, like legit. Like I had a friend who went on a date recently. The guy came from a basketball game and decided he was just going to come from the basketball game to the date. Like
Wow.
no shower in between. Like it's just really sad out here. It's really sad. And it's just like basic hygiene isn't happening. Like when you take a girl out on a date, like are you not bothering to research the restaurants that you're planning to take a woman out to? Like if you can't afford a certain restaurant, why are you taking her there? Or take her somewhere that is actually within your means that is still classy. Like I said in chat, like personally for me, I don't go to restaurants that are below 4 stars, but like that's me, and I don't date men who can't do that. But like if you are like dating as a man, like do some research, like do some of that due diligence prior to, so that you don't end up in an embarrassing situation. And then lastly, I'll say, in general with men, like women can tell when you're, the new term nowadays is capping, but like women can tell when you're capping. Like we can sense it. It's intuitive. So like I've had men who like tried to come off like they were these nice guys and like they were these gentlemen, and you can kind of just tell that there's like this underlying thing that's there. So like I felt that with someone who was like trying to like ask me out once, and I said, we never even went out, and I was just like, you know what, I think it's probably best, like I'm not really feeling the connection. I think it's probably best that we, move on, and I wish you the best. This guy who I never even went out with ended up just cursing me out and just like via text and just like losing his mind. And like that's what I had sensed. Like he was coming off like he went to college, which was probably a lie, and like he had this job, which was probably a lie, and all of this stuff. And like it was like just because did not feel a connection, he ends up just like cursing you out, or like it was just an insane reaction, like all of it via text. And just like I just sensed that like craziness. Like my intuition is always on point with these kind of things, but like women can sense these things. So like I would just say like you have to like be intuitive, and you have to be discerning when you're vetting these guys. But like also with guys, like just show some kind of effort. Like take a shower. Is that like too much to ask? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody asked what's capping. Capping is pretty much when you're like falsely exaggerating or lying, but continuously, right? So if I'm like, if I'm out on a date with a girl and she's like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Well, I just graduated from Harvard, so I don't have a job right now, but I'm getting ready to transfer over to a banking position within TD Ameritrade. I just haven't gotten there yet." That would be capping, right? Now I might have graduated, but I might have graduated from a different school, and I might be going to work for Walmart for the time being, just until I end up hopefully getting that banking position, right? So capping is somewhat of a really interesting term, because it's not necessarily lying, but it's really playing your situation into something that it's either not, or it could outright mean lying as well. So kind of, yeah, it's an interesting term right there. That's what capping is. We have a $10 super chat from Ty the Gemini. She says, "Thank you, Truth. Truly hilarious. Please, Alexis." Yeah, my goodness. Please, Lord have mercy. He needs saving. He needs saving. We lost one of the next people to go, but it looks like D is here. We're going to go ahead and go with D. D, we're going to get your stance and your opinion on all of this right here. What do you think about what's being said right now, D? Do you think that it could apply beneficially to your life right now? I know we've talked about your dating life a little bit, so we won't get too deep into it. But what did you think about that?
I'll just talk about myself real quickly.
All right.
I'm not a dusty or anything like that. Right now, I have a pretty good job, and I'm going to do my master's at one of the best schools in America. So I don't think of myself as a dusty or anything like that.
Sure. King Shenard is back, ladies and gentlemen. King Shenard is back. Good to see you, King Shenard.
By most contemporary standards, I'm not a dusty.
Okay, sure. So well, let's ask you, are you looking to date right now, or not really? I don't think you were looking to date, were you?
I'm looking to date. I'm looking to date and at any time.
Okay, cool. So when's the next date you got scheduled, man?
I don't have it. The next day I don't have a date scheduled.
Okay. Well, are you you're in school right now, right? You're actually on college campus?
I just completed my undergrad.
Nice, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're
Now,
not on campus anymore, but are you in a college town right
no,
now?
I'm going to do my master's.
Okay, so you're not in a college town anymore. Where are you staying? You staying by yourself or with your folks?
No, I'm going to right now. I'm actually working a job right now, and I'm doing my master's is starting in like a few weeks actually.
Okay, so you're staying with your people right now. So yeah, I mean, you might not be necessarily looking to date as much, but definitely when you get your master's, I assume that you'll be hitting the dating pool pretty seriously. Yeah,
I
you'll have.
can date when I have my master's. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah. Hey, I agree with you there, man. I agree with you there.
You can
I
start
agree
right
with you there.
now. Why are you waiting
Yeah.
for your master?
yeah, I can. That's what I meant. I can start now. I don't know.
Okay. Well. I mean, if you can start now, then then by all means start. Let's go ahead and we'll come back to you, D, in a little bit. Now, Organic Black wants to ask about the weight loss center that you've started. Have you started the weight loss center for Black women yet?
What? I just
D, it's been a long time, D. I listen. It's not my question. Organic Black wants to know, and so we're not trying to harp on you, right? We're not trying to harp on you. I know. King Shinar, hold on, King Shinar, follow the rules. We'll come to you in a second, King Shinar. I just know that you had a big problem with Black women's weight, right? So that's the only reason I ask. All right, D. Listen, man, I'm not trying to get you riled up, man. I'm not. So forgive me. I'm trolling you a little bit. So I'm not gonna troll you anymore, man. All right, King Shenard, it's your time since you can't sit in quiet time appropriately. King Shenard, welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you again, my friend. King Shenard, what do you think of everything so far?
I mean, what do I think of everything? I just hopped in and out. I heard you say something about some woman gave you a TV. It's like you sound like you're bragging about it. Thinking to myself, just you bragging about women getting free shit.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't like that? Essentially, you felt like I was a bit braggadocious on it, and I shouldn't be bragging about it.
I'm not really brag. It's nothing to brag about.
Right.
I've had women pay for dates for me. It's not something I'll go online and say, "Oh, I had this woman pay," but she didn't pay for me because I was broke. She wanted to. I tried to say, "Oh no," because she flaked out on the date previous to that. So she wanted to pay for it to make up for that.
Right. King Shenard, are you underwater right now? Where exactly are you?
I'm near a fan.
Okay. You smoking that good? Okay, King Shenard. Well, let me not disturb your nightly session. Hey, listen, I don't have any hate for people that smoke.
Bro. Answer the question.
Well, what was your question?
Why would you mention that?
Oh, why would I mention that? Yeah, I wasn't mentioning it to brag about it. I was mentioning it in context to when you help people out, they can end up helping you out in the long run, and you can end up helping them out in the long run. So my neighbor, she gave me a TV, a couch. She gave me all these things. And when she ended up moving back into the apartment complex, she didn't have a lot of the items that she needed to move back into it. And after a while, she gave me another text and she said, "Hey, things are a little bit tight for me, yada, yada, yada." And I gave her cash to help her out because she had helped me out at one point in time. So I don't know why you think I was bragging about it. I was trying to prove a point that when you end up helping people in the long run, sometimes that help that you lent out can be reciprocated and it can help you. Right. That's all. That's what I said.
Why do you think she gave me that?
All right, King Shenard, your connection just sounds, it just went from horrible to like inexplicably terrible.
Dusty connection. So, that's a dusty connection.
My God. That sounds like you.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure, D, go ahead. And after D,
I just don't understand why, like, it seems that a lot of these women, unfortunately, they have like just such high standards for what they want from men. And I say this the same thing to men who have such high standards that they have for women. Why can't they just, get a good guy who, who's hardworking and they don't have to be like a good looking person or anything. They can just, why can't they just Why can't they just
Can I ask you a question? Since your question is to women, what is your definition of a high standard for a woman? What's too high of a standard?
I mean, like, why does he have to make 6 figures?
He doesn't have to make 6 figures. Kevin Samuels says that. He's the one that says a high value man makes 6 figures. Women don't ask for that.
It seems like a lot of the men, they want.
Women. When have you ever heard a woman say, even that call into his show, I want a man that makes 6 figures? Most people don't even do that.
Multiple women have said that.
Do you think the average woman that's single only must have a man that makes 6 figures?
It seems like at least 6 figures or close to 6 figures.
Oh my God.
It seems like what a lot of these women that call into a show.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's what
it's what you see, because that's a narrative that Kevin kind of spins. So I'll give you a synopsis of what happens when you call into Kevin's show, right? So you call in, the woman calls in, she says, hey, I'm looking for, I want a high value man. I want a guy. I'm looking for a guy, whatever it might be. All right. So he's like, okay, well, dress size, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. What city you live in? Well, as we just discussed earlier, if you live where 89%, I think, of residential America lives, then you're probably close to a city, right? And so it's going to cost a little bit more to live near the cities. So she'll say, oh, I live here. And he'll start to kind of formulate, oh, well, if you live near this area, then you're probably going to have a guy that makes this amount of money. And she'll be like, okay, cool. And he'll be like, okay, well, you have kids? Yeah, no, either way. And he'll ask questions until he finds something, right? Do you wear Louboutins on Tuesdays? No. Well, you don't deserve the high figure guy that you need. Then you don't deserve that 6-figure earner, right? The 6-figure earner was not in topics of discussion until Kevin Samuels made a process to where he could essentially corner women from every different aspect of life into a position as to why, or to demeaning them as to why they don't need this 6-figure guy. But most of them, listen to me. Most of them never mentioned a 6-figure guy. This 6-figure guy was not in our conversations until Kevin made this up or brought this to light. Okay. Aside from that, a man who makes $75,000 to $95,000 is not a 6-figure guy. But research has shown that once you get above $75,000, the quality of life from $75,000 on up to 6 figures is vastly different from $40,000 to $75,000. These are actual articles that you can look up, and I'll look it up for you in 1 second, because Negroids claim that I lie about everything, right? So I'll look it up and I'll bring the articles for you. But the quality of life is not as different once you get into the $75,000 plus range. Women's not going to stop and say, oh, how much do you make? Oh, you make $87,000? Nope, you don't make 6 figures. That's not enough. Women aren't going to say that. That's unrealistic. Now, this is Kevin Samuels' trope, because this is what sounds good on air. And he'll try and corner women into having a negative position as far as an argument, and he'll make it a favorable position for himself and say, well, no guys make 6 figures, so you're just doomed. But she didn't come into that conversation wanting a guy that makes 6 figures. Moreover, when he asks her, how much do you expect a guy to make? Most of the time, they don't say 6 figures. They say, well, $50,000. And he'll say, what do you mean $50,000? You live in this city. You think $50,000 is enough for you to live on? And they'll be like, well, I guess not. You need a guy that makes $350,000 if you live in this city.
Yeah,
and
but he's being realistic. That's
no, but that's not your point though. You said that the women want a guy that makes 6 figures. No, Kevin Samuels wants the women to want a guy that makes 6 figures. They never said 6 figures.
He's just D. I'm gonna say it right now for you, D. You're probably gonna be lonely for the rest of your life, man. Like, your mind is so fucked. To be honest with you, bro, every time I talk to you, your mind is just fucked. How's it fucked?
I'll tell you how it's fucked. I'll be honest, bro. Your mind is in such a deep, dark place of despair that even as you get ready to get a master's degree to approach the type of income that you claim that women want, you still see it as a negative thing somehow. This is not the case. I just explained it to you that the women, initially, most of the women, and I don't know if you watch Kevin Samuels or if you've ever watched Kevin Samuels, they don't mention 6 figures when they first come onto the show. Kevin mentions that. Having said that, though, now your point is that, well, Kevin says it because it's the truth. Whatever you think the truth is, that's fine. Women didn't mention that. Kevin mentioned that. If you think that that's the case, then that's fine. I understand. Okay, you can think whatever you want, but I'm saying that your mind, D, the mindset that you have right now, bro, you will never be able to have women because you are a fucking incelibate. You are weird, bro. You have issues that you need to work out, homie. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just being brutally honest, dude. If you can't really take a step back and listen to yourself after these conversations on the replay and listen to just how disparaging and how like pathetic you sound, then there's something wrong with you. You really need to go to counseling, D, and you need to go to counseling fast because no amount of money in the world is going to be able to change a fucked up mindset. And that's where you're going right now, man. You don't have much time left, to be honest with you. There's nothing I can say to you to really show you or provide any light in your darkness. You have so much darkness right now. And the longer you swim in this darkness, the more fucked you're going to be. You can have all the money in the world, man. That's not going to make you a valuable person. All right. So we'll come back to you in a little bit, D, once we can kind of stomach your ignorance again. We have a Black Skin is Amazing, as well as Gordon Desir in the building. We're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to move on to Diana Prince. I'm sorry, Diana. And then after Diana, we're going to go Ty, then Miss Know-It-All, then Black Skin is Amazing, then Gordon after that. Diana, go ahead.
Hi. I'm enjoying this live, and you're telling these men the truth, and to keep calling up expecting a different answer is like total insanity.
Absolutely.
It's like you want access to women who want providers and protectors that they don't have to babysit and baby and tell what to do like they're little itty bitty kids. And nobody wants to do all that damn work.
Right.
And I don't understand why they don't get that. Like, and even if you had, all this money and all these degrees, you're not entitled to anything. It's the woman's choice if she want to be with you. And if you don't have anything to offer and do the things that you said, then those type of women aren't going to want to be with you. Absolutely. Whether you went to Harvard or not, they aren't checking for you. And it's that case, simple.
You're exactly right. In D's case, he's getting ready to get a master's degree. It doesn't matter if D makes $500,000 a year because of his mindset. And this is why I say money does not make high value. And this is the thing that men like D, they'll just never understand. He'll forever. Well, what do you mean? Well, D, when you finally do get that lump sum of yearly earnings because you have a master's in computer engineering or whatever the hell you're getting your master's in, you're still going to be lonely. So what's going to be your excuse after you're still not with a woman? And you've made or crossed that $6-figure dollar amount? Then what's your excuse, right? Oh, well, it's the 6 figures wasn't enough. She wanted a guy that did this, did that. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, D is a man that claims that he is in physical shape, better physical shape than 90% of guys. He claims that he's a gym rat. He's 6'3", he's chiseled, and he's good looking. We've never seen any of that, but we'll just take him at face value that he's telling the truth here, right?
Show you a picture or something? Maybe I should email you a picture or something.
Sure. Email me a picture, D. I'd love to see it. Let me put my email in the private chat. I'll tell you if you really are going to be as appealing as you think you are, to be honest with you. But if you're all this and you're earning 6 figures and you still can't get a woman, D,
something's wrong with you.
Yeah, it's some personality issue because the things that you're saying is like a complete turnoff. And I'm going to tell you, if you're working in the computer engineering firms, Twitter and Google and all those tech firms that's in the Silicon Valley out here where I live at, they don't tolerate men with your attitudes. They get rid of y'all because y'all liability. Y'all getting them sued left and right behind y'all attitudes toward women. Period. Point blank. They not playing with y'all.
You're exactly right. They don't call them a part of the company culture. They'll say, "Oh, you're not a good fit for our culture," and they'll let you go just like that.
Exactly.
It happens all the time. You're very right about that, Diana. Listen.
So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, my dear. I appreciate you. I'm going to get through really quickly, but I want to come back to you, Diana, because I like a lot of what you're saying. Ty, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to Black Skin is Amazing. I don't think I've heard from you before. Black Skin is Amazing. This is your first time here. Let me see. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. In the animal kingdom, females work just like the guys. Like there's no female animal like lions or whatever that females just sit around and let the man has to do all the work and bring home the bacon and cook. No, in the animal world, females work just like the men, just like deer, lion is just everybody gets out there and puts in that work. So it's wrong to tell women like, hey, you have a nigga come home, pay all the bills and take care of you. You just get to lay up and rest in your femininity. No female animal rests in their femininity. They're out there putting in that work along with the man. And that's what women should do. No, okay, you're gonna laugh, but name one female animal. No, hey, hang on. Just name one female animal and find a panel.
Black skin. The only female animal that's known to go and get meals while the males wait at home are lions. That's it. Just lions, bro. Majority of animals in the animal kingdom, it's up to the male to go get the food and then bring it back. It's this is not the majority where females go out. It's one group. It's one species. It's just lions, bro. And this is what they're known for. They're known for the females being the hunters, but the males are still the protectors at the end of the day. The females are going to go fight when another lion's trying to mate with the females. It's the males that go to fight. Now, yes, the female lions go to hunt, but that's not the that's pretty much it. It's just lions, bro. All right. So nice try. I understand you're dusty and you don't want to go to work, but unfortunately, that's not the way it works. And by the way, you're not a lion, so I hate to break it to you.
And you
We're gonna go ahead.
and you can't ask for submission and 50-50. You have to pick one or the other. Period.
You better choose wisely.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we are mammals, and I did make the point to even in the animal kingdom, but make no mistake about it. This is specifically a lion trait. This is not how most of the animals operate. The overwhelming majority of animals. Ty, go ahead, Ty. The floor is yours. King Shenard, you're back. King Shenard, if you weren't calling from like Afghanistan right now, I would let you back on the panel. But we can't understand you. And so the dust, you got to pick a struggle, King Shenard. You can be dusty and then be completely idiotic as well, but you can't be completely dusty and idiotic and then have a bad internet connection. One or the other, bro. Come with it. Ty, I appreciate your patience. Go ahead, my dear. And we'll try and keep it a bit quicker so we can get to Miss Know-It-All after.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, chat. I just want to say that this live stream is like truly hilarious. Like I've been laughing all day. I wanted to ask the men and the men that are coming up what is the problem? I want you to tell me what the problem is. What is the problem? What's wrong? So if y'all can answer that, I would really love it. Thank you.
Ty, that's a long answer to a very short question. The long answer is one, they're hurt, and we'll try and answer for them. But I mean, I'll tell you what the answer is. They're hurt. They're jealous. In D's case, he's going to be making money. And he'll still be lonely, and he knows that right now. In Black Skin is Amazing's case, he wants to be a lion so he can chill at home all day. In the rest of these guys' cases, they haven't had the touch of a woman in so long that they're starting to just get tired of beating their meat and crying themselves to sleep every night. And so now they come onto the panels to metaphorically beat their meat and get their angst or the emotional rocks off on women, so women that they so desire. And that's why they're here in the first place, right? So that's what's wrong with them, essentially. Big Scott says, first, D is 6'3" and chiseled, and this dude is talking about Animal Planet. Well, that was actually D's friend, Black Skin Amazing here, but apparently D is 6'3" and chiseled. Now, Big Scott, thank you for the $5 super chat. D has a problem with Black women being severely overweight, and so we gave him a little bit of trouble recently for that in the earlier couple minutes ago, right? Because he claimed that all Black women are overweight. And I said, well, D, what's your solution to the affliction that Black women's weight is causing on your own personal life? What's the solution to your affliction, moreover? And D is a gym rat. He's 6'3" and he says he's in great shape. So I thought that it makes perfect sense if he can open up a gym to remove or to rid his afflictions of Black women's overweightness. Moreover, he has the expertise and the knowledge since he claims to be carved out of marble like a Greek statue. And B, he'll be able to open up a business and it'll give him some leverage, not necessarily actual business he could have, but in between him studying, he could have his personal clients, his personal, weightlifting or what is it? What are you know, I'm trying to say clients that he can train in the gym, make some money, and he can meet women at the same time. It's a great thing. It's a great synergistic effect. You help me, I help you. We're in the gym. Healthy, there's not as many overweight Black women, everybody wins.
I wasn't able to explain myself totally on that one. I don't really have a problem with Black women being overweight, but I just don't understand why you're overweight and you want a man who's making like tons of money. Like, why don't you improve yourself first before you go to a guy who's trying to make, who makes tons of money? Why do you?
Where are all these
What
big
does weight have to do with it? Weight has nothing to do with income. That is ridiculous. Weight.
I mean,
and
I'm saying that men
are not in the same. That's not.
We're trying to move the goalposts.
It can't even be in the same conversation. Somebody can always lose weight. Somebody can always make
your
money.
guys' attitudes.
D, I want you to
come on. You just mad because you can't get the women.
Yo, D, on the real talk, as a man, the weight has nothing to do with them, bro. So you really need to rethink your mind about that, man. Seriously.
D, I want to see what you look like, D.
Your attitude and your dick is probably trash. That's why you can't get what you want. Let's be real. Let's go. If you want to sit up here and say all that.
Oh, all right, Dan. We're gonna give him a chance, Dan. Hold on a second. Now, D, I need to see what you look like, D. Did you send me that picture yet?
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you later.
Later. Now, D, I need to see it right now. Pause. I need to see it. So go ahead and email me. Did I put my email in the private chat? I need to see exactly what you have going on right now because I'm just not understanding. Now, D, you said you have a pretty good job right now, right?
Yeah, a pretty good pay job. Yeah.
Okay. How much do you make right now a year, D?
Well, no, job out of school. It's only around $50K. It's not
okay.
too.
Well, that's not terrible. You're halfway to the 6 figures, right? You're halfway there. Now, are you saying that because you make 50K, you just don't have the ability to date women at all because they all want the 6-figure guys? Is that what you're saying right now?
No.
Well, you told me though that the women on Kevin Samuel's show, all black women want 6-figure guys. So do all of them want 6-figure guys?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
some of them don't. Some of them don't want 6-figure guys.
I'm just trying to give them the reality that this woman coming here, they want.
Right. I know. I know. You're trying to teach them reality. Let me ask you another question before we start to try and teach women the reality. Okay. If not all women want the 6-figure guy, then why are you not with a woman right now?
Do I need to be with a woman right now?
You told me you wanted to be with a woman right now.
Well,
I don't know.
In life, we humans have a certain thing we can do. We can discriminate based on the choices we have. So I choose to again discriminate because I have that option. I can choose what I want to do.
You can choose. So women are approaching you on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want a Ferrari. I mean, I really, really don't want a Ferrari. I'm just choosing not to have one at this time. At the point in time such as this, I choose not to have a Ferrari. But if I in fact did want a Ferrari,
I would rather be lonely. Because
I like coming here because there's girls on here, and I like to talk to girls.
But you're not even getting the girls. You're sitting on here basically trying to go against everything that went. Like, this is really weird. It's like the school, like Hey Arnold and Helga Pataki. Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah,
not like y'all think that y'all like. Oh, I'm gonna be so mean to them, and then they're gonna like me. Are we not all grown as hell?
D, I mean, if you want to talk,
what do you?
D, let me ask you something. D, you said you like to come on here because you like to talk to women, right?
Yeah, I like to get both sides of this. I don't want to create division. I'm just trying to tell people like the whole deal and like.
D, let me be honest, man. You're on your phone or you on your computer?
Phone. What?
Turn your camera on, D. I just really quickly. Are you not able to do that? What's going on?
I like to keep myself anonymous, to be honest, and that's why I don't even want to give you a picture because I like to keep myself anonymous.
I won't share your picture, man. I'm not that type of dude. I'm not gonna put you out on Front Street if you're caring about your future career prospects. All right. But what you're saying is not adding up. So you decide not to. Big Scout with the $5 super chat says, "Are we going to pretend like black women aren't the most beautiful women on the planet?" Listen, man, I'm right there with you. I've seen some man. I've seen some beautiful body, beautiful face. So you don't want to out yourself because you're getting ready to go work for President Trump when he gets reelected. I get that. Okay, I get that. Send me the photo. I'm trying to figure out if you're insane or if you're just crazy at this point in time. And you're not really backing up a lot of what you say. So my thing is this: you like to come onto the panel because you like to talk to women. So are you not talking to women in real life?
I talk to women in real life, of course.
All right. You talk to women in real life. Well, D, I can just give you a brutal, honest answer based off of the conversation that you have with women on this panel. The lack of, rather, conversation that you have with women on this panel.
I have a conversation with.
I can understand why you're single right now, D. To be honest with you, man, it's not looking too good for you, bro. All right, and I know that might be hard to hear. I know you might not believe that, but based off of what's coming out of your mouth for the past 3 months,
are you single?
Yes, I am single, but I have women that. I have women that like me. I have women that.
Are you sure?
They're actively.
We're on the panel right now, honey.
We like Jonathan.
We like him.
Yeah,
we like him.
Listen, man.
He's a provider and a protector of women. Those are the kind of women that women are looking for right now.
His mindset alone is attractive.
Instead of coming on here to find you a woman,
I will make him a
come
cake.
on
I will
here.
make you a cake, Jonathan. You hear
Can
me?
I ask you a
I
question?
will bake you some baked mac and cheese, Jonathan.
Right,
Jonathan,
whatever you want to eat.
You're living.
Yes, we will make you a whole buffet. Thank
Jonathan,
you.
you're living. Jonathan,
I'll
you're
come
living.
clean your house, Jonathan.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
So, Jonathan, you're 30
love you
years
as well.
old. You're living in the apartment with another guy, right?
No, man. I live by myself.
Are you sure? I thought you said you had a roommate.
No, I don't have a roommate. I never said I had a roommate.
So why? So most people, a lot of people I know, when they're 30, they've already gotten married. So are you close to get that?
No, I'm not close to getting married because I'm not dating right now.
But there you go.
What does that even mean? What point are you trying to
Where do
make?
you live at? Where do you live at? Who do
What
you
does
live
he mean
with?
by there you go? That
Like,
didn't
what are
make
you
any
He lives by
sense.
himself. He already told his story. Quit trying
You
to
don't
be
even have
Yeah.
to. You have
Catch
to
up.
confirm.
He lived by
D,
himself.
I would.
He got out of the struggle, Dusty. You just stuck there and you come here and you mad and you angry because you can't get the women you want. He's giving you solutions and you don't want them.
That
D,
part.
I would show you, but for the sake of confidential, I'll show you the messages I have. Listen, man, I have no reason to lie to you. All right. I love women, and women I think are beautiful and awesome, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to have, access if and when I desire. Right. Far more access than you do. Right. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not trying to shit on you. I was shitting on you earlier. I'm not trying to shit on you now, man. Listen, I have no problem with women, bro. I really don't. I never have. I've been, and this is gonna sound horrible, man. Jesus, this is gonna sound horrible. I've been with a fair amount of women, bro. Okay. So whether or not I'm married right now, if I wanted to, I could be. All right, I definitely could be. But to me, it sounds like the biggest problem that you have is that I'm not in a relationship, and so we're essentially in the same boat. You and I, we're not in the same boat.
No,
my
we're
friend.
definitely not in the same boat.
We're definitely not. We're not even in the same ocean right now. You and I.
Yeah, I know that.
We're in two very different places. Let me just tell you, D. It doesn't matter. And once again, going back to it, money's important. But even when you get your money, when you finally do get that career that you're so searching for so badly, you're still not going to be good with women, D. I'm just telling you, man. It's gonna be bad for you because your mindset is screwed. There's something wrong with you. All right. And women are trying to tell you this. The women that you enjoy talking to, that you claim that you enjoy talking to, are trying to tell you, yet still you have rebuttals for years, for days, for months, for millenniums on end. You don't want to accept anything that the women are telling you at this point. You don't have to accept what I'm telling you, but these are women. If these women are telling you that something's wrong, then you don't think other women in your day-to-day lives are going to be thinking the same thing? Do you think that the women here are just insane, completely crazy, and not understanding who you are? You think everybody's crazy but you, D?
I'm trying to prove a point here, and I'm obviously going to come off harsh because I'm trying to prove a point. I would never talk this way to a woman when I'm having a date and a nice conversation with her. And
Right. D, when was the last time that you had a date, man?
I think I already said this. It was about a year ago.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being honest, man. I really do appreciate you being honest.
Thank you.
That's more than what we can ask for a lot of guys.
Did I tell you about the story about the 31-year-old black woman who we were about to have a date, but I counted the date off because, again, she was engaged twice, right? And
right.
both of her fiance said that she was in a bad place. So why would I want to put myself in that tragedy? Why would I want? That's something that is probably going to become a tragedy. Why would I want to put myself?
How are you talking to both of her fiancés?
That's what she said to me.
When was the last time you got laid?
What? So she.
Why are you in her business like that? That don't make no sense.
That too.
I mean, because what if somebody was judging you based off some stuff that you did in your past that don't got nothing to do with you and what you trying to deal with or start with another person? That doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't be judging her off the stuff that somebody else said.
So you don't have any exes?
Immature.
You don't have any exes? You don't have any people that probably it just didn't work out?
This was one. It wasn't one. This was two.
So okay, so you don't have two exes? Most people don't have two or more exes?
Two fiance, these were fiancés.
Oh, what?
She obviously was a baddie if she can propose to twice.
Yes, are you kidding me?
Right?
Wow.
But she ruined it. She ruined it twice.
What do you mean she ruined
How do
it?
you
Just
know
because
she
somebody
ruined
How do
it?
you know
just because
she
somebody
ruined
proposes
it?
to you doesn't mean that she has to accept it.
D.
Maybe she found out they was like you and she said no. Now.
Exactly.
Okay, whatever you say, sister.
All right, D. Well, D, listen, it's pretty obvious, man, that there's some serious stuff going on with you. All right, brother. And I say that term very loosely. You have some serious issues you need to work out, man. And I don't know if there's any hope for you. I don't think that there's any hope for you. But before we go back to D, we'll kind of let him figure out his life since this is the only time he gets to talk to women. Thank you, D, for being honest. We're gonna go to and we'll let some of the ladies rebut. Before we go to you, Henry, Jedi, I see you in the back. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take somebody down after we have some of the ladies say what they need to say. We'll start with Miss Know It All didn't go already, but we'll start with Loren, and we'll try and keep it quick, ladies. Loren, then we'll go to Kier, then Lin, then Miss Know It All, then Ty, then Diana, then Henry. After that, we'll try and keep it 30 seconds or less. Go ahead.
I don't have anything right now.
Sure.
I can probably jump off, so you can make some more room.
Oh, that's fine, Loren. You can stay. It's up to you. You're no pressure, man. No rush. Kier, go ahead, Kier. What did you want to say to D? Who's what did you want to say to D? I'll just leave it there.
I really ain't got nothing to say to D. We're here telling the truth, and he doesn't want to listen. He's completely glossing over it. Honestly, I'm tired of talking to them. I want to talk to the real men and the real simps. Where y'all at? Hi, Honest. How you doing?
I'm good, Kier. How are you, darling?
Good.
Good to see you again, my love. Well, D, we tried to help you out as much as we can, D. It's been a couple of months. We're gonna have to go ahead and take D down for now.
Yeah, we're tired. I think we're tired of these weirdos. I'm all talk. You can talk to your blue in the face. It makes no difference. I'm tired of these weirdos.
Well, we're gonna shift the conversation. And we have Henry back in the building. We have Gordon and Jedi Mike as well. So I'm going to go ahead and let Gordon go, and then we'll let Jedi Mike go. Gentlemen, if we can keep it to about 30 seconds to a minute, we can address D as he's gone on his way out to make another appearance, most likely in the next live stream. I would appreciate that. Gordon, the floor is yours. Go ahead. Gordon might have go ahead, Gordon. I see you.
Oh, can you hear me now? How you doing?
I'm doing good, Gordon. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to do good as you. No, I'm just playing. Yeah. So my thoughts on the video, man. It's very good. My thoughts on the video is very good. The thoughts on the video is very, very good. I really like what you talked about. From what I learned, I had my share of being shy and everything and all that stuff when it comes to talking to girls. And one thing I realized why I'm so shy because sometimes we lack foundation. Sometimes we don't learn from our fathers. I mean, we have fathers, but they don't teach us the right way. And the first thing is to respect women. You know. And one thing, and that's something I had to learn. And what really helped me, to be honest with you, is when I was growing up in church. Not saying church as a building, but the group as a church with rightful men and everything that who respect women and love women, that care for the community. And that's where I grew up from them. And that's what helped me to build my character and everything. And that's why I met, the love of my life there, because how I come to approach with respectful ways, so that's what helps me from there. And to make it quick, like you said, it's 30 seconds, I just wanted to say this, and I think this is an important message I want to put out there to every man and woman, for those who have kids. I'm not sure if you have a kid. If not, but in the future, I just want to say this, and for myself. The thing is that when it comes to men being rejected, we understand that why men get rejected because they're angry and insecure and all that stuff, because they were not being taught about facing rejection by their parents. And that's something we have to teach the kids when they grow up. Yes, we can say to the little girls and to the little boys, say, hey, look, you're a handsome man, women's gonna love you. Little girl, you're a queen, and all that stuff. Fine. But we have to teach them to say, hey, look, one day you have to understand that there are times that people are going to reject you. And if we teach them about rejection, they will not depart from that. They're not going to feel lost or anything. They're going to remember, like, I remember what my mom and dad told me about rejection. So that's going to help me right there and become strong. So that's all I got to say about that.
Absolutely, Gordon. I appreciate that, man. I think that's a very healthy perspective to have. Definitely. Jedi Mike, you're up. Jedi Mike, the floor is yours. We'll try and keep it quick, ladies and gentlemen. There's one more spot. If you want to call on or hop onto the StreamYards, then you're welcome to click the link. There's one more spot, so try and make it a bit speedy if you can. Jedi Mike, go ahead. The floor is yours on the 30-second or a minute and 30 seconds sometimes as we go on countdown. Good to see you, Jedi.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly, man.
Got you. Yeah, I was driving this whole like 2 hours and stuff like that, and man, I wanted to pull over and get on, hop on, and I can talk to this dude. I was hearing complete BS from this, and I was like, no, I gotta drive. I'm like, but now I just got off, man, from work. But listen, I just keep it simple. Everything that truth with me, myself, other callers on here, what we talked about. If the stuff that we're not talking about with the problem us is just as black men not being competent people, being actually competitive, people to be in terms of dating relationships in this market, if have not been proven the last 2 hours with this single caller, it will never be proven. Period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jedi, I'm gonna keep you there. Thank you so much for that short response. I appreciate that, Jedi. You're absolutely right. Miss Know-It-All, go ahead, Miss Know-It-All. The floor is yours. Sorry for skipping.
Hold on.
Okay, well, take your time. Take your time. We're going to go to somebody unmuted themselves. Let me see here. We're going to go to. Okay, I can't tell. We're going to go to.
I was on mute.
Oh, Miss Know-It-All, go ahead. The floor is yours.
I want to get off after this so you can make room for someone else. I just want to leave with this because I want to say something. Mm-hmm. Black males are 49.6% the most obese males on the planet. I just had to start with that, and I'm not going to go. So then the next thing I'm going to say, dating. I'm just going to end it with this. Dating, I believe we all, male and female, need to date from a place of peace and wholeness, meaning, bottom line, people date for different reasons. We don't date for love anymore. We date for resources, whether it's housing, sexual access, loneliness, status, and horniness. I mean, I'm just being honest. And a lot of people don't want to be honest about why we date. And I think even for black males, again, leveling up, getting yourself together is going to be beneficial to you. And then you could be selective, and you have to also understand about rejection. If you see very attractive women, how many men do you think when she walked down the block, how much attention and how many guys shoot their shot? She's not going to take in everybody. She can't take everyone's number. She can't stop and say, hey, I got a man. So you also can't take it personally. I know, and I think that the Jedi Mike said correctly, a lot of males were not taught how to deal with rejection because they didn't have fathers in their lives. And I'm going to finish it up right now. And I think, again, like I said, dating place of wholeness and peace, and you're the best version of yourself when you start dating. And I also want to say, I wrote some things down, so and I'm almost done. I think women want consistency and ambition over six figures because less than 5% of Americans makes over 100,000, and that's just the truth. So it's about ambition and consistency and loyalty, and that's what we want.
Absolutely.
And you also, and again, just to finish, because I'm gonna get off. Also, you have to understand, because the guy said something about, women, the lion, the analogy of the women did the hunting. Why can't women do stuff? You can't have it both ways. You can't have submission and have me pay 50-50. I'm not working 9 to 5, then come home, do laundry, cook, clean, take care of the kids. If we're going to do 50-50, a couple of nights a week, I want my dinner ready. A couple of nights a week, I need my laundry done. If we're going to go 50-50, you can't have both. You can't have submission and 50-50. And I'm about to finish. I know you, because I'm going to get off. And that's it. I think that's it. I wanted to cover more, but I don't want to take up more time. But thank you for having me on, Truth.
Thank you, Miss Know-It-All. I appreciate you.
No problem. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. I completely agree with that. I like that. I love that sentiment. Thank you so much for Miss Know-It-All for being patient. We have Henry. Henry is back in the building. Henry, it's good to see you again, my friend. And I appreciate all the support that you've given to the channel so far and all the contributions. I really do appreciate that, man. Henry, I know that we kind of talked about your dating habits and the styles and everything the other night, so we'll kind of pick back up on that. But was there something that you heard tonight that might, that did or stir something inside of you? Pause a little bit. I'm not sure how long you've been watching, but
yeah, I was going to stay out of this panel, but I hopped on it because I wanted to talk to D. Is he still around?
I'm sure D's still watching
Okay.
right now. He's
Yeah.
not on the panel right now, but if he's hearing, which he is, he can join if he wants to have a conversation with you. I'm sure he's watching though. What do you want to say to him?
No, yeah, because listening to him talk, it kind of sounded kind of like me maybe 10 years ago, and I kind of have a sense of I think where he's coming from, and I wanted to give him some pointers that I think would probably save him hopefully 10 years of being in the wilderness.
Okay.
So
what's one of those points you wanted to give him?
Okay, I think he's coming at this from I get the sense he's probably a tech guy, probably a bookish guy. So he's trying to come at this from a systematic mindset, and that's not going to work out. You have to get out in the field and you have to learn social skills by practicing them. A lot of us, I think, at a young age, that are kind of erudite and intellectual, we kind of go into ourselves and kind of avoid people and just kind of work on only single aspects of our personality. And if you don't do that, if you kind of just build yourself up in a one-dimensional manner, it's not going to. You can continue to advance in one dimension, but not the other. So I would suggest that if he's a tech guy, maybe go into consulting. Try to take those tech skills and get into a position where you're doing a little bit more interaction with people, and it's going to be tough at first, but
Henry,
yeah.
Let me stop you. Thank you, Henry. I think that's we'll take you off. It sounds like something's going on in the background. It sounds like Henry's getting abducted by a UFO. Henry, be careful out there, man, on the road. Hazel Green, good advice, Henry. Thanks for calling in, man. Hazel Green 19 says, "Truth, do you ever have married women on your panel? I'm married and celebrated my 11th anniversary on August 31st. Congratulations, 11 years, man. I'll tell you this: women want men like you and my husband. Absolutely, absolutely. It seems like the more guys that we talk to in the Black community, we find more often than not males who don't have the emotional intelligence needed." D hopped onto the panel to respond back to you, Henry, but I'm sure that he'd probably agree to some extent with the sentiment that you have, that it's just the way that he thinks, and that's the only problem there. But Henry, I'll just give you a clear, concise answer. That's not going to be very applicable to D, because D already has a preconceived notion of how dating is for everybody, for the rest of the world. And so you can't teach a man something you can't teach a man what he already knows. I say this all the time. You can't teach somebody what they think they already know. And see, D already has this all played out. And so you could be giving him advice, I could be giving him advice, but at the end of the day, D already thinks what he thinks, and there's nothing really that's going to change that at this point. So I think that's good to reach out. Maybe you can connect on that tech guy level, but I don't know how much it'll really help him in the long run, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I appreciate you for trying, right? So we'll see. Maybe he'll call back in and he can respond back to you. We're gonna go ahead and move on in our conversation. Good to have Henry Frick in the building again. Precious Faith alone. The Precious Faith, the floor is yours. I appreciate you, Precious Faith. And just to answer you, Hazel, we do have some ladies that have called in who are married. A decent amount of them, actually. So yeah, we have married ladies that are watching, that call in. I did an interview a while back with a lady who was divorced and had, according to the ministry, everything working out against her. And now she's with a man that makes a great sum of money, a lot of money. She's doing good. Precious Faith, give us 1 second. It looks like D has joined us again, and so he's going to respond back. We're going to hear one more thing from D, and then we're going to go ahead and kind of move on from the D situation. Give me 1 second, Alexander. We'll bring you back up. D, welcome back. What did you think of that advice that was given to you, D? Do you think that your life is going to change now?
I think what he was saying was, I would say that to almost any man, and I agree with him, but I'm not really trying to look at it from that point. I'm not trying. I mean, I that's the type of guy that he thinks that I am, but it's not totally true. And I'm speaking to this, and I'm speaking to you guys in this way because I'm trying
All right, cool enough. So Henry, did that answer your question? It pretty much summarizes what I was saying. No matter what advice you really give him, you might think that you're helping him, but men like D, guys like D can't be helped, man. You can't teach somebody what they think they already know. So does that make a little bit more sense to you, Henry?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess, the world just kicking your ass is gonna have to take the place of that. So
that's all that can happen, man. That's all that can happen. I appreciate you reaching out. D, we're going to take you down. Thank you and best of luck to you, D. You're going to need all the luck that Jesus Christ can give you himself. So, Precious Faith Alone, welcome back up to the panel. The floor is yours, my dear. Oh, let me unmute you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Precious.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so I've been listening to you guys. I agree with like everything you were saying earlier about when you were telling men how to get a woman. I actually came from a date. I can't say I'm happy about it. Things occurred. I don't so yeah, just to give like some insight, more even to speak to the high value thing that everybody keeps bringing up. The first time I ever heard the phrase high value mentioned, it was a guy named Matthew Hussey, and he's like a dating coach, dating teacher, and he's very informative on a level of emotional literacy and understanding, people on an emotional level and dating that way. It wasn't until the manosphere got hold of the phrase and then they turned it into something disgusting, and now it's just, oh yeah, high value man, more than 6 figures. But the root of the word high value, it always meant before it got corrupted, the term high value to me meant somebody who had integrity behind them, somebody who does the right thing even when he's not being watched. It's but it's turned into, okay, I'm high value, I make more than 6 figures, therefore I should be able to cheat. So I feel like these themes, they all tie in together with each other. Right. Because like what you were saying earlier, even when you were talking to the guy D earlier, he's very athletic, he has a good job, he's going to be graduating from school with a master's degree. So what is the problem? Why is he single? And a lot of it, I feel like it stems from there's this pervasive issue that's going on in the male mind in this generation where they are not emotionally literate, and it's like they don't understand how to connect on a level that goes beyond just the things that you can see and touch. So it goes far beyond what can be taught. So these are lessons that as a woman going on a date, you can't teach a man to give you a sense of protection when you're in his presence. And those are things that can't be explained. So it's hard for a woman to say, when I'm around you, I don't feel like I'm being protected. When I'm in your presence, I don't feel a sense of being protected while I'm in your presence. So because they can't understand and formulate any deeper connection that goes beyond, monetary value, money, 6 figures, my degree or my status in society. I have no words for it. It's like they just can't understand the deeper meaning behind things. So when they say 6 figures, and like you were saying earlier, that a lot of the women who go on Kevin Samuel's show, they get kind of they get led into these questions and kind of cornered into saying something that they don't necessarily mean. So I know, because I'm a woman, that when these women are saying, I want a man who makes 6 figures, what they're really saying is, I want a man who has the capacity to protect me no matter what the situation is. Because I know men who work at the dang Dollar General, but their mind is still centered on taking care of their woman. It's not the amount of money that he has in the bank account. It's this what am I trying to say? It's this all-encompassing essence of what makes a man masculine and what separates a masculine man from the pack and the herd. And it's such a surface level when they go on all these websites and channels in the manosphere, like, yeah, guys, you got to go to the gym and get buff and get a 6-pack and drive around in a Mercedes Benz. It goes deeper than that. It's on a level where it cannot be taught. It can't be taught to a man by a woman, especially not a woman that he's trying to date. Like you can't train a man up in the ways of a man. It's hard to explain as a woman, and we're even losing the words. We're losing the words to illustrate what it is that we want at this point, just because the way that everything is just so all over the place and nothing makes sense anymore. But that's really what it is. A woman wants to know that no matter what the situation, no matter even if she's making more money than her man, will this man take care of me? When I am with this man, do I feel protected? Do I feel safe? Even in certain situations, social situations, not necessarily saying for a man to jump up and start punching every dude in the head who's looking at his woman wrong. That would be insane. That's crazy. But when you go out, there's this sense of protection where the masculine man is a container for the woman, for her to fully express who she is in her full feminine essence. So a lot of these men, oh, I don't know why these women don't want me, and I have this, and this. But it goes so much deeper than that. Do you have the capacity are you expanded enough for a woman to step into your world, to step into your life, and still be able to grow and function and to move and to grow into the full essence of the woman of who she truly is? And I see a lot of men now, they want a woman that they cannot contain. So what I mean by that is, for example, let's say you've seen people who win the lottery, right? And because they don't know how to use money, they could win $300 million and lose it in less than 5 years. It's because their mental container and their understanding of that money and the understanding of the value of what they had in their hand, they couldn't hold on to it because their mental container wasn't enough. So we have a lot of men who are.
We're gonna wrap it up in a little bit, Precious.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we have a lot of men who are they're too small to hold on to the type of woman that they want. They want a woman who's very intelligent, a woman who is spiritually mature, one woman who's intellectually mature, a woman who's emotionally mature, but they're not that. So when they get a woman, they have all these demands and things that don't make any sense. But what I've seen in my personal life is a lot of men, of course, they will have things put together, even in the bank, and they'll have a nice car and what have you, but they don't understand the dynamics between a man and a woman. They don't understand that sense of protection. So I don't want to take up the rest of the time, but thank you for letting me talk.
Not a problem. Absolutely. Well said, like always. I appreciate that, Precious. And we say this, I say this a lot, right? Money obviously does matter. It definitely does matter. And while I do agree that Dollar General, he can still have a very protective way about him. What I do want to say to that is that money is very important still. So we have to be real or acknowledge that, yes, money does matter. Dollar General is still it's going to be tough to to provide for some aspects or some qualities of life. But I think that what's good about what you said is that it brings back to point what we kind of talk about, personal currency, right? Which is that if you don't necessarily have the money at the time needed to solve whatever problem, whatever ailment's going on in life, what do you have? What personal connections do you have? What networking circles have you made? What social circles have you made as far as your surrounding company that you keep to be able to get said problem taken care of? And we talked about the Mexican or the Latino men who have specifically placed themselves into positions of builders, positions of laborers like carpenters, tradesmen, craftsmen, particularly skills that cost a lot of money, or jobs that cost a lot of money to be able to help or service you by. So if your car breaks down, if your house needs repair, whatever it might be. So while on paper they might not make the most money, it might not be as appealing. When it comes down to you needing to get something fixed that might cause a good amount of money, they have such a tight-knit circle of personal connections or personal currency within their community that it'll lend itself over to a more valuable male in that situation, or a more valuable man, right? Something that a lot of the black males in the black community don't have. We don't have as much personal currency. Moreover, when we do have jobs that are more I want to be politically correct here, when aren't as high earning, right? A job like the Dollar General store, it ends up being a double whammy because we don't have, once again, the personal currency to back up or to support the low earning income of a lot of the black males or black men in America. So it's a double whammy versus just a single whammy and then, a solution at the same time. So I think that's good there, and I appreciate that. We have two new people that just joined the panel. Tia, your devices aren't connected right now. Gordon, I'm going to take you down because we need to clear some space up really quickly, but I appreciate you being here, Gordon. We'll see you again in a little bit, my friend. Tia, connect your devices so we can go ahead and hear from you. Jayla, I appreciate you being here as well. I want to make sure that we go back to some of the other ladies that have been waiting for a while. And so we'll go ahead and get Jayla on because Jayla seems to not have been able to get connected a lot of the time. So Jayla, we're going to let you go ahead and go. We'll try and keep it a little quick, Jayla, so we can get back to our other panel members as well. The floor is yours. You can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Jayla, I hear you perfectly. How are you tonight?
Okay, I'm fine. I just wanted to tell a quick story that kind of related to what the beautiful lady with the blonde locks just said. I didn't really catch her name. I remember I was dating a guy not too long ago, actually, and me and him were walking down the block, and it was so weird because a guy tried to, speak to me while I was with him, and he said absolutely nothing. And I was so confused. And when I confronted him about it, it seemed like he had more smoke for me confronting him about him not saying anything to the guy trying to holler at me than the guy who was actually trying to approach me while I was with him. And what it just made me feel like, how can I possibly want to be with you if you don't even say anything to somebody trying to approach me when I'm with you? Like, I told him that he kind of didn't understand that he put a target on my back when I was with him when he did that, because it made it just seem like I'm not your girlfriend, that me and you are not associated in that way, and that any man can just approach me now in any type of way because you took yourself out the equation as my guy. So I had to cut him off after that. It was just super weird. And it seems like that with a lot of guys now.
Yeah, that's off right there. And yeah, guys, one thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I can relate to what she just said. It doesn't make any sense, but yeah, sadly, that is something that women are facing in this day and age, and it makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, I'm glad you shared that story with us. Thank you.
And it's a little bit scary because I'm a bit younger than you. I literally just turned 25. I have a 2-year-old daughter. So the way the world is going, it just makes me so sad and distressed for her, because how are the men going to act when she gets older if we're acting the way they're acting now while I'm still dating and stuff like that?
Absolutely. It's a great point. Great point, Jayla. That's a good point there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've been on for 2.5 hours right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and start to wind this down. I don't want to have this go too long because it won't be able to attract a certain audience once it gets to 3 hours. And I want there to be able to be a lot of replayability on this. Tia, I'm sorry, we weren't able to get you on. Your devices still aren't connected. So we're going to have to take you down for now this time. But we're going to wrap this up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I appreciate everybody that's been on the panel. A little bit short of a live stream, but we're going to be back. We might do a hangout stream tomorrow or just kind of continue this conversation for a part 2. But I'm going to wrap it up right now. Listen, I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm going to take everybody down for the time being. I know we usually do last words, but we're just going to wrap this up for the time being, and we're going to come back in a little bit. I'll read a couple more comments, but Loren, I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Loren, like always. Lynn, I appreciate you being here. Like always, thank you, Lynn. Kier, I definitely appreciate you for being here. Diana, of course, I appreciate you for being here as well. Everybody, I appreciate you for being here. I hate taking people down. I always feel so bad. Bye, Precious. And Jedi, it's good to see you again. Alexander, we didn't even get to hear from you, Alexander. So I'll give you the last words of the night, Alexander. Okay? And have a good night, Ty. Thank you, my dear.
Yeah, I was listening to everything that was going on, and it seems to me that we need therapy, because D, on the other hand, I can see him not having a woman, and the money he's making now, and the eviction notice is going to is going to expire soon. And so the money that D is making may not be enough for him to keep the place he's living in. And that's what black men do not understand. And
very true. Very true. Listen, Alexander, I think you're absolutely on the money right there. I'm going to stop you there, but listen, I think you're absolutely on the money. There's only so much that you can do, right? There's only so much. Yeah, this coffee is like, it's done. Yo, it hit me like a 2-ton train, yo. It's like the coffee could only do so much. It was good. I was going for a while, but I'm pretty much there at this point. Listen, Alexander, I appreciate you, man, and I'm going to kind of play off your point. We'll see you on the next one, Alexander.
Oh. One more thing. And to the thick black women out there, you know, the ones that are not overweight, but supposedly they are. I just want to say, y'all beautiful, and I also want to say I kind of shy when I'm around y'all too, but I'm gonna work on fixing that problem also. And
that's all we can ask for, Alexander. All right, I'm gonna take you down right now, man. All right, Alexander. You have a good night, man. Alexander's gonna work on it, ladies and gentlemen. Jackie, let's please be courteous, please, Jackie. All right, we're all different color crayons inside of the box. Right? You might not like a certain color, but there's still vibrancy in that color. All right. Remember, let's be adults. We're grown here, right? So thank you so much, Alexander. I appreciate you going off. Alexander's passionate tonight. Alexander was on the roll. I appreciate that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wind this down. I should be coming back tomorrow. We might continue this for a part 2, right? Sunday's usually the day we live stream, but we want to keep this kind of short. I appreciate you joining me tonight, and for everybody that donated and contributed to the channel and that continues to do so while we're off air. I appreciate that. For everybody that supported the businesses and the links that we've posted for our Black-owned businesses and for our Black content creators, I appreciate that as well. We have more to discuss on this, and I wrote a lot more, but this is going to be another part series, and I might decide to have 2 series going on at the same time because I've been doing a lot of writing, right? And I'm going to start cranking up the content a little bit and kind of covering more topics, right? So we'll still talk about black males and the issues with black males a lot, but we're going to start getting to more general topics because we're starting to reach a different demographic. And as we continue to grow, we need to start bringing in other people, other races as well, into these conversations. And that's happening naturally right now. So I have to play very strategically and accordingly to that to ensure that it continues to happen and to ensure that our message that we need to be heard by everybody in the world is continued to be heard. So that's going to wrap it up for this edition of, and I did not listen to Drake's album, but I'll definitely check it out. It's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Truth Seekers Live podcast. My email is thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. D, feel free to send a picture. I'm waiting for it. Y'all take care. I will see you most likely tomorrow night, but if not tomorrow night, I will see you on Monday night. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for tonight. I love you all. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Good night.